Good morning, ladies and gentlemen and fellow Rotarians. I believe we're now live on YouTube. So pwede na akong kumaway-kaway. Kung meron pa yung gustong ipa-shout out, you can shout out. Um, we have a lot in store for you this morning. We have a wonderful lineup of speakers and participants coming from 7 distinguished clubs of the Rotary Club. In a few minutes, we'll be starting our program, so please stay tuned. While we are waiting, we'd like to acknowledge the participation of the following clubs. Rotary Club of Cabiting and Cubao. Thank you for hosting this. Rotary Club of Acropolis, Rotary Club of New Manila East, Rotary Club of Maharlika Modesto, Rotary Club of Quezon City Apo, Rotary Club of Roosevelt, and Rotary Club of Challenger. They will be recognized once again. Thank you. Acknowledging the presence of our beloved Governor Dulce Cuyacat. Magandang umaga. All right. So good morning once again, fellow Rotarians, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us this morning as we talk about something that's very, very important, especially in the recent developments in our social life and in our communities. It is high time for us to discuss about mental health and youth well-being. And to start up with our program, maybe invite everyone to kindly remember that we are in the holy presence of the Lord as we start with the invocation to be led by yours truly, your day chair for this activity. My name is HCP Marlon Manyao of the Rotary Club of New Middle East. Altogether, in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Dear Heavenly Father, we would like to thank you for this wonderful morning. Thank you for bringing us together as we talk about wellness and about our mental health and about the youth. We ask you to please be with us and guide our hearts and our minds. Open our hearts so that we may be able to discuss what is important for our communities, for our club members, for our children. May we be able to apply the wisdom that will be shared this morning in our daily lives. We ask for your blessing for our club members, our leaders, our communities, and most especially for the success of the activity for this morning. Glory be to the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning,
shall be world without ending.
in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Good morning once again, ladies and gentlemen, and my fellow Rotarians, my dear classmates. Magandang umaga po sa inyo. Alam ko po, yung basta yung kagigising lamang po, coming from a very big induction last night. Some of us are coming from the other districts, and I'm delighted to see you once again this morning. And to continue with our program, my apologies. We will now have the national anthem to be played by LABP.
Witness a history in our lifetime as we bring back to life what a true Rotarian should be. Service above self, unity in diversity, and inclusivity, all for one and one for all. This is our chance. This is our time to rise up and be the example of what humanity can achieve. Together, let's create hope in the world. So let us sing with one voice the Philippine National Anthem.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Our apologies, we failed to formally open the program with a call to order. On behalf of my classmates, the Hope Creating Presidents, we call this mental health and youth wellness talks into order. To continue, for the four-way test, we ask us to lead us HCP Vina Pacquiao.
Okay, so good morning, everyone. Let's recite the four-way test, the things we think, say, and or do. First, is it the truth?
The truth.
Second, is it fair to all concerned?
Sincere to all concerned.
Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships?
Will it build goodwill and better friendship?
Fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
And our answer, yes,
Yes.
yes, yes, and yes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. HCP Divina.
Thank you.
Thank you. For the introduction of the participants, it is my great honor to introduce my AG, ang napakasipag pong past President Florence Daos. Florence, you might be on mute. Are you? Ma'am Florence, are you already starting? All right. Probably Ma'am Daos is having problems with her audio at this moment. So for now, I'm gonna be introducing once again our participants. And they hold on. Maghang din po aking laptop.
Be already in the room.
HCP, Marlon, maybe we can proceed.
Yes.
Gawin na lang later yung
That's right.
acknowledgement of guests and
Yes.
participants. Yeah.
Yeah. We will be acknowledging them later. So we will now proceed with the welcome remarks to be headed by HCP Saiz Atienza of RC Roosevelt.
Yeah, good morning. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Ang ganda ng araw ngayon, this Saturday. I'd like to acknowledge yung connections, not only here but also overseas, yung ating pong viewers from overseas. Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. This topic, this webinar today is very interesting because it is actually timely. Mental health, and September is Suicide Awareness Month. And among Filipino children, ages 5 to 15, 10 to 15% are affected by mental health problems. And Filipino students like 13 to 17 years old attempted suicide at least within a year. So very alarming. That's why I know Department of Education have already asked all the schools to hire more guidance counselor, and they've been trying to have a lot of mental health seminars like this. Having depression of 71%, anxiety of 54.5%. So suicide, it's 31.3, and suicide attempt 7.5. Sobrang alarming ang mental health. So I'm hoping this morning will really give us more understanding, as we have a professional, very special guest speaker to talk about the mental health issues, especially for the youth. So stick with us the whole morning, hoping that this will be a good learning platform for all of us. Magandang umaga po. HCP Sais again from Rotary Club of Roosevelt.
Thank you very much, HCP Size, my very beautiful and energetic classmate. Maraming salamat po for that very inspiring message. To continue with our acknowledgements, please allow me to acknowledge the participating clubs for this morning. We have the Rotary Club, of course, the Rotary Club of Cagatingan, Cubao, the Rotary Club of Acropolis, the Rotary Club of New Manila East, the Rotary Club of Maharlika Modesto, the Rotary Club of Quezon City Apo, Rotary Club of Roosevelt, and the Rotary Club of Kiaong Circle. To introduce our speaker for the inspirational message, let us all welcome Rotarian Francis Abalza.
Hi, good morning and good evening, everyone. Thank you, HCP Marlon, for the introduction. I am honored to introduce to you past District Governor Dulce Coicat. She broke the glass ceiling when she became the first Lady Governor of RI District 3780. For 10 years, she had the honor of being the only Lady Governor of the district and the muse of the male-dominated Council of Governors. She is currently the COL representative for Rotary year 2020 up to 2023, actually, and continues to be of service and focusing on empowering girls since 2021. So let's give her a round of applause, please. Thank you.
Can you hear me? Am I coming in clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let me greet all of you a very pleasant good morning, good evening from wherever you are. I know some of you are in New York and in Australia, in San Francisco. So greetings to my beloved Rotary Club of Cagatingan, Cubao, as well as the Satellite Club of Cagatingan, Cubao, and all the participating Rotary clubs in this webinar. All the HCPs, how are all of you? I met some of you last night at the induction of the Rotary Club of Balintawak, and I see that you are a vibrant and very energetic group of presidents. So we hope you will bring that much needed hope to our communities this Rotary year. And I also want to greet all the empowered men and women out there who are amazing in their own right. I know, well, I realize now that your main topic is mental health, no? But our club trainer, Pipi Dory, asked me to give an inspirational message about girls' empowerment, since I have just been reappointed as the district coordinator for empowering girls this Rotary year by by Governor Paul Galang. Before I go to my topic, let me take this time to promote PHILA. I am appealing to the Rotary clubs present today to please help us in our search for outstanding young leaders in the community. What is PHILA? PHILA stands for the past RI director, Paeng Echanova. It is Paeng Echanova Youth Leadership Awards. We've just launched a search for outstanding young leaders who are displaying exceptional leadership skills in any of the advocacies of Rotary. And these are the 5 areas of focus. Sec Eyes, can you please share screen what PHILA is all about? Okay, so this is the Paeng Echanova Leadership Awards. It is a search, a nationwide search of all the 10 districts in the Philippines, spearheaded by the Rotary Club of Makati. No, we are in search of deserving young leaders who display exceptional skills in any of the 7 areas of focus of Rotary. And what are these 7 areas of focus? Guys, can you please share the 7 areas of focus of Rotary? Okay, so here are the 7 areas of focus of Rotary. 1 is peace building and conflict resolution, disease prevention and treatment, water, sanitation and hygiene, maternal health and child health, basic education and literacy, community development, environment. If you know of any young leader who is displaying leadership skills in any of these areas, or even in sports, please nominate this. Please nominate them to this PHILA. The criteria is they must be between ages 18 to 29. They cannot be a Rotarian nor a Rotaractor. And they have, the nominations will be done online. We will be showing you the link to press. So all these nominees have to submit their nominations online. And then they must be preferably residing in Quezon City, or their advocacy could be in Quezon City or any other place in Metro Manila or in the provinces. For example, let me give you an example. We've discovered a young man. He's 21 years old, and he founded an organization which he named Operation Blue, I believe. And his advocacy is building bangkas made of plastic bottles. So these bangkas are being used in the fishing communities and during floods. He is also making aside from bangkas, he also makes vests which can be used by these fishermen in their while they're fishing. So that is just an example, no, of a young leader who has an advocacy. So we hope we are encouraging the clubs, please. The deadline for the submission of application is September 30. We will have 2 levels of judging, which will be done sometime in October. And the highlight of this of the participation of these nominees is that the 10 finalists from the 10 districts will be participating in a boot camp, a special boot camp that is being organized by the Rotary Club of Makati. And you know how much the cost of that special boot camp is? It's worth 10,000 US dollars. Also, big prizes are at stake. For the winners, the three finalists, the first prize will be receiving 300,000. The second prize, 250,000. And the third prize, 200,000. And the sponsoring clubs are also in for a big prize. The first sponsoring club winner will be receiving 50,000 pesos. The second prize will be receiving 25,000 pesos. And the third place will be receiving 20,000 pesos. So please come, help us, join us in our search for deserving leaders who are helping our communities. Can we count on you, HCPs?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Please,
Yes,
tulungan
yes,
niyo
we
tayo,
have.
ha? Okay,
Yes,
ha?
ma'am.
Ma'am.
If you have any
Hapon po.
questions, please feel free to call on the Rotary Club of Kagitingan, Cubao. You may email me at my email at dbcoyucat@rotary@yahoo.com or go to Facebook, https Phyla. Or you can call me at my mobile phone 0917-527-4048. Phyla. Okay, so let me go to my topic. Okay, thank you very much for giving me another opportunity to speak about a topic that is very close to my heart, and that is the empowering of girls and women. Why is Rotary giving so much importance to women and girls' empowerment? Well, let me share with you Rotary's take on the matter, and I quote, "There is no shortage of need, and the impact can be significant when the power of Rotary is focused on girls' empowerment." Unquote. Girls and women are a powerful force that drives change and progress in our society. For centuries, women have been fighting for their rights and equality. But unfortunately, they still face many challenges and obstacles. Many talented, curious, and ambitious young girls with dreams as vast as the universe. Many girls experience tough challenges in life that leave them overwhelmed and without hope. Despite some progress made in the recent years, women in the Philippines still face many significant challenges, including gender-based violence, harassment, discrimination. Why is this so? Well, mainly because of limited access to education and economic opportunities. What are the challenges that girls face today? Well, there are many challenges. First is traditional cultural expectations. You know, in India, girls as young as 10 years old are already betrothed to a boy who's not her choice. And so, much to their disappointment, they are forced into an early marriage. Another challenge is early teenage pregnancy. I know in the Philippines, there is a rise in teenage pregnancies. Another challenge is the exploitation and abuse, including human trafficking and gender-based violence. There is lack of access to menstrual hygiene products, lack of access to education, reproductive information and healthcare, leading to malnutrition, obesity, and even mental health challenges. But you know, in a world of possibility, limitless possibilities, every girl deserves to shine. And so for this Rotary year, the District 3780 STEAM in empowering girls aims to rally around these girls and bring that much needed hope, refuge, strength, and inspiration to spark that courageous fire within. Because a Rotarian can be the guiding light that can transform one girl's dreams into reality. We will be breaking through barriers, proving that dedication knows no bounds. So for this Rotary year, we plan to focus on youth protection. We shall create awareness for youth protection program. The knowledge of the youth protection guidelines shall help clubs to understand the importance of youth protection in projects. Let me give you an example. I vividly remember our club trainer, past President Dory Raterta, she keeps on reminding the club to refrain from taking photos of the faces of our boys, the patients, the young boys undergoing circumcision in our Project Tude, which is an annual undertaking of the club. She would constantly remind us that we should comply with the Privacy Act. Right, VP Dory?
Yes, go.
Yeah, so we shall be creating, or rather reviewing, the youth protection guidelines and policies of Rotary. First, we shall adhere to the Rotary Statement of Conduct for working with the youth, and I quote, "It is the duty of all Rotarians, including Rotary spouses, partners, and other volunteers, to safeguard to the best of their ability the welfare of and to prevent the physical, sexual, or emotional abuse of children and young people with whom they come in contact. Rotary International strives to create and maintain a safe environment for all youth who participate in Rotary activities." We have prepared a youth protection guidelines, which I will briefly go through it, so that you will have an idea of what we plan to do. We shall be reporting any allegation of abuse or harassment. Any allegation of abuse and harassment will be treated seriously, regardless of the circumstances and regardless of how much time has passed. We will handle all allegations according to local laws and RI policies. We shall follow district policy on notifying specific clubs or district leaders. We shall be appointing, and we are in the lookout for, a district youth protection officer, where we will report all these harassment cases. And these cases may include other serious incidents like hospitalizations, serious crimes, early returns, and deaths to RI headquarters within 72 hours of learning about them, even if not all incident details are confirmed. We shall cooperate fully with law enforcement and youth protection agencies, and we will not interfere with their investigations. We plan to forge a partnership with the Quezon City Protection Center through Mayor Joy Belmonte. We've learned that this Quezon City Protection Center is a one-step help center which offer legal help and do counseling to victims of harassment and violence. In fact, we are encouraging all the clubs to help us in our campaign against abuse of all kinds and in all levels. even in social media. You know, I have learned, it's come to my attention that there are growing cases of harassment in our district. There is one case concerning Rotary actors. And we've learned that there are many now cases pending with the District Ethics Committee. You know, it's a sad situation in our district now where every Tom, Dick, and Harry can just openly and blatantly accuse or throw a dirty finger at anyone, even in social media, at their Facebook accounts. If they dislike one Rotarian, for one reason, for another petty reason or another. We want to eradicate all these bad practices of Rotarians, if not minimize them during this Rotary year. Can you help us on this? I'm appealing to all the Rotary clubs to please report any cases of harassment being done to our young, especially the young girls in Quezon City. I know it's parang suntok sa buwan, di ba? But the EG team will not stop hoping and working. And hopefully at the end of this Rotary year, we'll be able to create a peaceful and a harmless society for our young girls and boys in District 3780. And so let me end this very brief message on this positive note. Empowered girls empower the communities around them. Every girl faces a setback and doubts herself. But we Rotarians can be their friends and mentors who can rally behind them, encouraging not to give up. For even the strongest stars can have moments of doubt, but they never stop shining. So join us in this Creating Hope Rotary Year journey of empowering the next generation of strong, fearless, and unstoppable girls. Shall we put our hands together for all us amazing and great women out there? Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much for that
Thank you, Paul.
wonderful and very inspiring message, Mama Dulce. As always, we are not in awe for the wisdom that you have shared with us. Thanks also for reminding us about the Ryla. And you can count
Faila.
you can count on us
Yeah,
to
please. Thank you.
Viola to be with to join us to join you on that program. To continue with our program, may we request our for the introduction of our resource speaker, may we ask HCP Kent Aguilar.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, all good. Thank you, HCP Marlon. And good morning. Good evening, fellow Rotarians, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Kent Nino Aguilar, the Hope Creating President of the Rotary Club of Chaong Circle under District 3820. I'm here to acknowledge, and definitely it's a great pleasure for me to introduce our first resource speaker today, who is going to talk to us about the overview of the young adult fertility and sexuality. Dr. Mel Nora is a medical doctor and is currently working with the Philippine Department of Health and USAID project as a technical advisor for adolescents. He was formerly chief of party of the HIV and AIDS Global Fund project. He is a reproductive health advocate and senior public health professional with over 20 years of in-depth experience in community development and program management. He has an extensive experience in providing technical support in the national and regional levels, especially in maternal and child health, family planning, adolescent sexual reproductive health, and HIV and AIDS, which includes humanitarian setting. He is currently an honorary member of the Rotary Club of Kagitingan Cubao, an advisor of the club's Rotary Area Focus Team on maternal and child health. Fellow Rotarians, guests, please join me in welcoming Dr. Mayor Nora. Magandang umaga po.
Thank you very much for the warm introduction. Magandang umaga po sa lahat. And it's again an honor to be part of your circle in sharing with you the plight of the adolescent in connection with mental health. So may I request to share screen, please? Okay, so am I loud and clear? Can I have a thumbs up for if my voice is okay, if my screen is okay? Can I have a thumbs up for from the Rotary? Okay, thank you. Oh, raising. I have question, Ma'am Arlene. I'm going to answer it later. Okay. So, magandang umaga po sa lahat. Magandang gabi sa iba't ibang dako ng mundo. Ako po si Dr. Miel. I'm a public health practitioner. I started working with adolescent way back 2003. And I got married 2007. And right now I have 3 adolescents. Okay. So imagine from 2003 to 2007, now 2023, the problem remains the same. We have teen pregnancy, we have mental health problem, we have issues about sex among adolescents. So we're going to discuss this a bit, but what I'm going to share with you today or tonight is just a part of the Young Adult Fertility and Sexuality Study presented by UPPI and Department of Health way back October last year. And yeah, last year. And this is in connection with mental health because right now I'm working with the Department of Health and the Department of Education for what we called a program called Comprehensive Sexuality Education, Adolescent Reproductive Health Convergence. This ensures collaboration between 2 agencies to ensure that CSE is integrated in the curriculum. And one of the component of the CSE ARH convergence is what we call the conduct of rapid heads. When we say rapid heads, heads stands for home, education, activities, employment, drugs, suicidality, and sex. So I got some data from the YAP study so that I can connect with the next presenter. Okay, so to start the ball rolling, again, magandang araw po sa lahat ng mga governors natin, and thank you, Attorney Raterta, for another opportunity to share this advocacy of mine, a platform to voice out the concern of our adolescent through data. So YAPS is the largest series of cross-sectional study or survey on age 15 to 24. So ang coverage po nito 15 to 24, hindi po na-cover yung 10 to 24 years old. It aims to provide updated information, a broad framework of adolescent sexuality and reproductive health issues, their antecedents and manifestation. This is the basis of formulation of programs and policies for the health and welfare of the youth. And this is also the reference of the Department of Health in developing strategic plan for adolescents. So what's unique about the latest YAPS 5 research It examines the lives of young people affected by the pandemic. And it remarkably covers 80 provinces of the 17 regions, enriching 10,949 youth as representative of 20.1 million adolescent and young people that comprise 19% of our general population. The study investigates the plight of 10.3 million males and 9.8 million females affected, stalled, and slowed down by the COVID pandemic in their homes. This study will give us a new number on how our adolescents today, despite of our whole of government approach, remain to be undesirably affected in terms of physical, emotional, mental, reproductive, and health in general. So 10,949 po mga kabataan na interview as representative po ng ating mga kabataan. Just to refresh everyone, youth is the period of transition from childhood to adulthood. This is overlapping transitions such as about leaving school, getting a job, going to first serious relationship, first marital union, first pregnancy, so forth, and so on, that could affect lasting effect in later life. This is important to examine their status to identify health key areas to ensure better health and well-being, which in turn contribute to our families, communities, and country in the long run. So maunawaan nyo lang po ang mga kabataan natin kung sila ay nakakausap natin. So meron po ba dito na mga may anak na 10 to 14 years old, 15 to 19 years old, or apo, o kaibigan? It's about time to talk to them. Baka medyo left behind na po tayo sa kanilang mga lingwahe. So just to show you the age-sex structure of the Philippine population, I just mentioned earlier, 19% of the population, or about 20 million, are 15 to 24 years old. And we're going to break it down. Mas marami po ang ating mga male youth, 10.3 million, and 9.8 million naman po ang female youth. Now, let's go to their homes. Paano ba sila pinalalaki? According to the Young Adult Fertility Survey, percent of youth who were raised by both parents by sex, noong 2013 mataas, pero ngayon, 2021, bumaba po siya ng 68 to 65 with an average of both sexes at 66. Okay? So ang tanong po dito, sino na po nagpapalaki o nag-aaruga o nagre-rear sa ating mga adolescent? Noong 2013, mataas, ngayon bumaba na po. Now, let's go to the education. Kung makikita nyo po, grade 7 to 10, mas marami ang mga lalaki na naka-enroll, naka-complete ng grade 7 to 10. Pero pagdating ng grade 11 to 12, umalagwa ang mga females. And then, pagdating naman ng college or higher education, napag-iwanan ng mga males, umalagwa ang mga females. And then, attaining highest educational attainment, mas marami po ang mga babae kaysa lalaki, or marami ang female kaysa male. Now, reason for not being in school. Ito po ang sabi ng ating Young Adult Fertility Sexuality Survey. They leave school, lack of funds, kakulangan ng pera para mag-aral. They want to earn for their family. They're bored with school, getting pregnant, or someone pregnant. And reasons for not looking for work, dahil sa family duties, taking care of their families, still in school, lack of interest, and not being allowed by parents. Tingnan naman natin yung kanilang leisure activities before the pandemic. Before the pandemic, they want to meet with friends, play sports, watch TV, play video online, and text and chat with friends on social media. During pandemic, ano po nangyari? They go online, surf on the internet, text chat with friends, play video online, watch TV movies at home, and sleep and rest. Ano nawala? Yung meeting with friends face-to-face and play sports. Ano po? And lahat virtual ang ating, or so in a social media platform, ang connection ng mga adolescent sa kada kaibigan nila. Now, this is the link to our main topic for today's discussion or tonight's discussion. According to YAPS, 17% have ever thought of committing suicide, a third of whom experience suicide ideation more than once. At mas mataas po ito sa mga babae. Okay? There's 2013 to 2021 increase reverses the gains from 2002 to 2013. So ano kaya pong nangyari? So noong 2013 mababa po yung suicide ideation natin, pero pagdating ng 2021 umalagwa, mas marami pa ang mga females. Suicide attempt. Okay. 7% have ever thought of committing suicide, a third of whom experience suicide attempt more than once. 44% of those who had suicide ideation acted on this thought, and higher among female youth. So mas mataas pa rin po sa mga females compared sa males. Pero makikita po natin ang trend na tumaas from 2013 to 2021. So in terms of timing of first suicide attempt, makikita po natin na tumaas siya during pandemic times. Okay? Years before the survey. This is the percent of youth who experienced their first suicide attempt by the number of years before the YAP survey. Ano naman po yung mga common reasons for suicide attempt? Ito po ang sinasabi ng survey or study. Family problem, 59%. Quarrel with spouse or partner, 6%. Feeling of being isolated, depression and anxiety, bullying, school-related, breakup of relationships, sexual abuse, and physical abuse. Family problems include conflict with family members, being scolded by parents, guardians, and helplessness in face of family issues. Entertain na lang po natin yung question later on, siguro pagkatapos ng presentation. Now, in terms of help-seeking behavior, only 11% of all youth know of any suicide prevention program or service. So imagine, ang dami po ng ating mga cases ngayon ng suicide among adolescent, pero only 11% lang ang may alam kung saan sila magko-connect to provide a program or service. 62% did not know, did not reach out to anyone about their ideation, and only 2% of youth who experience suicide attempt reach out to a professional. Ito po yung nagiging problema namin sa Rapid Heads. Pag nagkukonda kami ng rapid psychosocial assessment among adolescents sa mga grade 6, 7, senior high school, ano po. So magkikreate kami ng demand, makikita namin yung red flags, pero pag titingnan namin, saan natin sila i-connect? Saan ba yung service delivery network natin? Hindi pa to in place sa ating mga provinces or cities. So, nangangulugan, wala talaga silang pupuntahan at hindi talaga alam kung saan sila magsisik ng help. Now, dahil nung time ng pandemic, madalas sila online, so marami rin po tayong mga cases ng cyber harassment. And makikita po natin dito sa data na mas marami ang cyber harassment tumaas ang cyber harassment, both male and female. So marami ang cases sa male kaysa female. So tumaas po yung trend natin. Now, tingnan naman natin po yung premarital sex. So ito po nakakapagtaka, no? Pero dahil siguro sa pandemic, bumaba ang trend natin ng premarital sex from 2013 to 2021. Both sexes, sa males 28, sa female 16. So downward trend pong ating premarital sex for 15 to 24 years old. Teenage fertility, nabanggit po kanina during the introduction, tumataas ang bilang ng teenage pregnancy sa Pilipinas. Totoo po, tumataas, pero hindi po sa edad na 15 to 19. Tumataas po ang bilang ng pregnant adolescents sa age 10 to 14. At ito po gusto nating bigyan ng pansin, ito po ba ay dahil sa domestic violence, gender-based violence, or child marriage? Pero ang magandang balita po nito, bumababa ang numbers ng teenage pregnancy across all regions. Okay. Kaya lang po, when we convert into absolute numbers, mataas pa rin po. At ang teenage fertility by region, mataas po sa Davao, sa Autonomous Region of Muslim Mindanao, sa Bangsamoro, and Eastern Visayas. And then bumababa naman po sa Mimaropa, Ilocos, and Bicol. Ngayon, pag nabuntis sila, ano po yung mga healthcare challenges according to YAPS? 4 in 10 female youth who had live birth encountered at least one challenge in accessing prenatal or postnatal healthcare services. They have issue about distance, transportation, the cost, and human resource related. So in terms naman po ng RH problems, so ito po ang common na RH problems among males, changes in the color of their urine. At survey said that they experience pain during urination, itching in genital area, and abnormal breast mass or enlargement among males. So hindi nila to ma-manage pag minsan, bakit ba ako pinamumukulan? Bakit ba masakit ang aking breast? That's an issue among males. Among females, 37% experience menstrual cramps and dysmenorrhea. They also experience changes in the color of urine, pain during urination, and irregular menstrual period. Ito po yung mga top reproductive health problems ng ating mga kabataan according to YAPS 5. Ang nakakalungkot po dito, despite of all the efforts ng ating mga development partners and NGOs, bumaba po yung awareness of HIV and AIDS among adolescent from 85 naging 78, 82 to 74. So makikita po natin sa kabila ng maraming information sa social media, sa kabila ng campaign sa school, bakit naniniwala pa rin ang mga kabataan, hindi pa rin malinaw sa mga kabataan natin kung paano nakukuha ang HIV and AIDS. So, doon naman po sa reproductive health problems natin, kakaunti pa rin ang mga nagko-consult among medical professional. Okay, makikita po natin 19 doon sa naka-experience ng reproductive health problems natin, only 19 consulted a medical professional among males. And 81% wala po tayong intervention doon, hindi sila kumonsulta. Sa female naman, only 28% nagkonsulta sa mga medical professional, 73% did not do anything, did not consult. Okay? Excuse me. So, ano po yung summary ng ating young adult fertility survey? Ang antenatal care, childbirth, and postnatal services remains to be accessible as evidenced by YAPS 5 data. This includes percentage of female aged 15 to 19 have begun childbearing decline from 13.6 to 6.8. Bumaba rin po yung unintended pregnancy and abortion among adolescent. 9 out of 10 pregnancies resulting in live birth receive antenatal care. Ang maganda po nito, maraming mga kabataan na bubuntis, nakaka-receive na po sila ng antenatal care. And 61% of antenatal care among adolescent on their first trimester, that's represent 10% increase from 2013. And 73% ng ating mga teenage pregnant adolescent ay nakakapag-consult sila or nagkakaroon sila ng antenatal care, at least 73% of them. So what does it mean? Our campaigns, together with NGOs, the national local shows hopes and signs that our interventions are working in delaying sex, protecting self through condom use and healthy lifestyle, as shown in YAPS data. Nabanggit ko po kanina na bumaba ang premarital sex and sex initiation at tumaas naman yung increased condom use among our adolescent, among our teenagers. Hindi ko po pinakita yung data pero ang drinking and cigarette smoking is also on a downward trend. Pero ano po yung mga lows o bad news about YAPS 5? 4 in 10 female youth have encountered live birth challenges. Ito po nabanggit ko kanina about distance and transportation. Ang bad news, nabanggit ko nung bandang huli, HIV/AIDS awareness among young people was noted to be on downward trend from 2013 to 2021, and only 1/3 of our youth responded no STI and HIV. This is a red flag among our young people. However, nabanggit ko po kanina, we have the CSE-ARH convergence that we are working with DepEd and Department of Health to advance this collaboration para ma-integrate ang CSE sa curriculum. Another bad news, we have a low number of male-female consulting medical professional in terms of their RH problems. Pero ang good news po natin, may mga platform po tayo together with Department of Health and Commission on Population and Development, dating POPCOM, and the Department of Social Welfare and Development. Meron po tayong mga platform for adolescents and parents na tinatawag nating I Choose, Malaya Ako Maging, that was launched in 2021 and then 2022, which encouraged them to exercise freedom to be who they want to be by helping them to determine healthy options for themselves and extend their networks to their families and communities. And yung susunod pong topic, which is alarming, na di-discuss po ni Ms. Edna, suicide ideation and suicide attempts remarkably increased in 2021, and this needs to be addressed immediately. So with that, maraming pong salamat. Ito po ang kasalukuyang status ng ating young adolescent age 15 to 24 years old na po pwede po nating pagtulong-tulungan upang at least mag-slow down ang pagtaas ng 10 to 14 years old teenage pregnancy at mapababa po ang bilang ng ating mga may mental health problems among adolescent. Napakaganda po ng sinabi sa inspirational message kanina na we want to create or develop fearless young girls and boys. Napakaganda po itong vision ng ating samahan at nawa patuloy nating pagtulong-tulungan for a better future and brighter future of our adolescent. With that, maraming pong salamat at nawa I was able to share with you the current situation of our adolescent. Magandang umaga po at magandang gabi po sa lahat. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sir Miel Nora, for sharing with us your insights on the current status of our adolescents. We will welcome questions later on during the open forum, but you may already start posting your questions at the chat box. To continue with our program, let us all listen to the introduction of our next resource speaker, to be headed by our HCP, Arlene De La Cruz.
Morning.
Good morning, Ms. Arlene.
Good morning.
Pwedeng paki-post yung paki-post yung profile ng resource speaker. Wala pa.
There you go.
Yeah, Ms. Arlene, while we're working on the introduction, may we proceed back to the recognition of our speaker, and may we ask once again HCP Kent Aguilar to head us with the recognition of our speaker. HCP Kent.
Thank you once again, HCP Marlon. Right, so at this point, I just would like to thank you, Dr. Miel, for the very comprehensive and enlightening knowledge shared. Your insights, as mentioned by HCP Marlon, and perspective were truly valuable, and we were all thoroughly engaged by your presentation. So I guess at this point, I would like to present the certificate of appreciation. It goes, the certificate is proudly presented to Dr. Miel Nora, adolescent HIV and AIDS advocate, who has served as a distinguished resource speaker in the webinar on mental health and youth well-being. in heartfelt appreciation of his selfless contributions and unwavering efforts in creating a positive impact on mental health and well-being of our youth. Given this 9th day of September 2023 at Rotary Center.
Thank you very much. Maraming po salamat.
Yes, well, it was also a pleasure to have you with us, Dr. Mel, and we hope you enjoy the experience as much as we did. Thank you.
Thank you very much, HCP Kent, for conducting and for our recognition of our distinguished speaker. Congratulations once again, Dr. Miao. Maraming salamat po for all your generosity for this point. And now, we shall now proceed with the introduction of our resource speaker, to be headed by HCP Arlene De La Cruz of RC Acropolis.
Yes, good morning, everyone. It is with great honor to introduce to you Miss Edna Hernandez Gutierrez, our next speaker. She has more than 25 years of professional experience in the areas of development and humanitarian works, corporate social responsibility, human resource management, and the academe. She started her career as guidance counselor at De La Salle Lipa and was a college instructor at the Our Lady of Lourdes Seminary, also in Lipa City, Batangas. Her longest stay in an educational institution is at Faith Colleges in Tanawan City, where she started as HR specialist, then joined the tertiary schools as college instructor until her appointment as chair of the psychology department. She was assigned back to the human resource, where she served as department manager for more than 10 years and was the head of the Faith Center for Extension Services until her resignation last October 2021. She is currently into her dream job doing development and humanitarian works as project officer at Save the Children Philippines, a mental health advocate. She graduated with distinction in Master of Arts in School Counseling from De La Salle University, Manila. Outside of her professional life, she is into the performing arts and baking. Once again, I would like to welcome Ms. Edna Hernandez Gutierrez as our resource speaker. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Arlene, for that introduction. Thank you so much for introducing me. And because I will discuss something about mental health. So actually, mental health and mental illness are two sides of the same coin. Okay. And yes, I'll be talking about mental health. And because it is about health, so that connotes something positive, right? So first, what I am cultivating right now is an attitude of gratitude. Yeah, so attitude, gratitude, attitude, however you call it. So. And I am thankful that on a Saturday, narinig ko kanina na galing pa kayo sa induction kagabi, so I know you're tired. Okay, but then again, you took the effort to wake up early in the morning here to talk about something, a topic that is very, very timely. In fact, my challenge and my question is, bakit natin ngayon lang pinag-uusapan ang tungkol sa mental health? And I'm going to tell you why. That even before the time of the Old Testament, challenges about our mental health has been there. Okay, yes, an attitude of gratitude. No, so that's something. So I woke up at 5 o'clock, and then I meditated, and then I prayed, and then I told the universe that I'm gonna exude a positive energy, even if at some point during our discussion today, I will be talking about mental illness. Although hindi ko siya masyadong didiinan, kagaya ng pagkakadiin kanina ni Doc Mel, but suffice it to say na sasaluhin ko yung presentation niya about suicidal ideation. It's a Saturday, we're talking about suicide, we're talking about mental health. So we will focus more on really mental health. Okay, so allow me to share my screen. Okay. Right, So, let's go. So, una po muna, ang tanong ko ay, nakikita niyo po ba ang aking screen ng malinaw? Bigyan
Wala
niyo po.
pa po.
Wala pa.
Not yet.
Can you see it now?
Now, yes. Signal.
All right, that's good. That's good to know. Okay. Tapos, sige po. Ayan, nandiyan na yung nandiyan na yung screen ko. Now number two yon. So I will not be talking so much about mental illness. Pasasadaan lang po. And one of the things also that I'd like to emphasize, mabuti na lang po nag-opening prayer tayo kanina, because maybe some of my presentation might be offensive for the non-believers. Okay, so non-believers, so meaning sa mga discussion po ng religion and spirituality, medyo malayo po sila. But let me take this opportunity from the talk of Doc Miel. So sasambutin ko lang po the things that he said. Number one, youth. We're talking about the youth. We're talking about 10 to 14, 15 to 19. Although by definition, no, ang ating pong youth commission, medyo extended po yung ating age ng youth. So I think about late 20s. Okay? But for purposes of discussion for this morning, let us first talk about youth doon po sa range ng adolescent, which is 10 to 14 and 15 to 19. By the way, give me a thumbs up kung okay po ang aking audio. Okay po bang audio ko? Give me a thumbs up.
Okay.
Okay, sige po. Thank you. Now, I don't know. Are you familiar with Dr. Jill Bolte Taylor? Are you familiar? Give me a 1 if you are familiar sa chat. Give me a 2 kung hindi. Wala pong sagot. 2. Okay. Jill Bolte Taylor is a neuroscientist, a Harvard-trained neuroscientist who was able to put into practice her practice on neurology when she suffered a stroke. Okay. And in her TED Talk, this is what she said about the youth. Okay. Why is the mind of the youth so unstable? It is unstable because certainly the neurocircuitry, now I'm getting a little bit technical, I'm sorry. The neurocircuitry, which means the neurons that reside in the brain of our youth, most especially 10 to 14, 15 to 19, hindi pa po siya ganun ka-develop. So it's not yet fully developed, hence it is not yet fully stabilized. Okay? So, diyan po pumapasok kung bakit medyo mahina din yung internal environment ng ating mga kabataan. And if you also listen to the presentation of Dr. Miel, yun pong percentage ng kasama po ang mga magulang. So nag-present din po siya noon. But it's not only the percentage. We're not only talking here about the quantity of our youth living with their parents, living both with their mother and father, but we also talk about the quality of their relationship. Do they even talk about mental health? Do they even talk about reproductive health? Do they even talk about... So, yun po yung medyo titingnan natin sa mga susunod nating programa. Pagkatapos po natin pag-usapan itong mental health na to, saan po natin gustong dalhin ang discussion na ito. So, it's not only focused on the youth, but also on how these youth are reared. Paano po sila pinalaki? So, I know for a fact si Doc Miel, yan, talaga, ideal father po talaga. Even the wife is an ideal mother, no? So, they practice positive parenting, they practice positive discipline. Alam ko kung paano at gaano ka-open ang usapan sa bahay nila about sexuality, about reproductive health, about mental health, and all of this, in all of these things. Pero, yun nga po bakit according again to the numbers, bakit out of the big universe of the youth of the Philippines na hindi ko na po matrack kung ilan po ang kung merong mental health issue, bakit doon sa mga health seeking behavior, bakit 11% lang ang nagsisik ng health seeking behavior? Okay, let me tell you why. Because this morning, I am not only going to talk to you about what the books are saying about mental health or mental illness, or what the numbers or statistics are talking about these things. No, I will talk to you about personal experience. Kaya po ako naging mental health advocate since college. Topic na po namin yan sa kasama po yan sa curriculum namin. And then nag-uusapan din po namin yan during my graduate school. And I would have to tell you that mental illness runs in our time. So my son was diagnosed with chronic depression. Can you imagine? Chronic depression. It was in 2017. So magsi 6 years na po ang journey namin ng family pagdating po sa mental health, sa mental illness. But luckily, and it's really a blessing. Kaya nandun din po yung attitude ko ng gratitude, because now I see mental illness no longer as a curse but a blessing, kasi napagtagumpayan na po. So hindi po talaga totally na healed, kasi sabi nila hindi naman talaga gumagaling ang depression. So namamanage lang po siya parang bipolar disorder, namamanage lang po siya parang OCD, and all of this mental disorder illness, sabi nila hindi naman po talaga gumagaling. Parang diabetes, namamanage lang siya ng medication coupled with therapy. So, bakit? Number one, ang mga kabataan po na dinadapuan ng mental illness, especially kung meron na po silang signs ng depression, hindi po nila nauunawaan. So, kapag dumating sa kanila na, bakit ganito? Bakit ang dilim ng mundo ko? Because if you see the MRI or the magnetic resonance imaging of a person with depression, with bipolar disorder, medyo madilim ang isipan nila. Because biologically, hindi nagpa-fire up yung mga neurons nila kumpara doon po sa mga quote-unquote normal brain. So we don't really understand ano tong nararamdaman ko, ano dilim na nararamdaman ko, na nandito ako, na nilalanguyan ko.
Hawak mo na siya para wala na babayaran pa napakalaki.
Their description is, para akong nasa itim na sapot. It's like a cobweb, which is black. Ang tawag naman po na iba, black dog, na lagi silang hinahabol. So that's one. They really do not understand kung bakit po sila hindi humingi ng tulong. Number two, mental illness remains to be a taboo. So hanggang ngayon, meron pa rin po tayong stigma, na kapag ikaw ay mentally ill, di ikaw ay siraulo. In fact, ano pa nga po yan, may discrimination pa rin po pagdating sa economic status. Kapag daw ikaw ay mayaman, o medyo middle class ka, o medyo can afford ka ng treatment, di ang tawag sa iyong sakit ay depression or schizophrenia. Okay? Pero kapag ikaw ay cannot afford, at ikaw ay narinig na ng kapitbahay mo nagsisigaw at hindi ka maka-afford ng treatment, di ang tawag sa iyo ay may pinili. These are painful, no? Painful po itong mga bagay na to na marinig, no? Hindi na, sana na lang tawagin na lang nila na mentally challenged. Okay. Pangatlong dahilan kung bakit po hindi nagsisik ng behavior. Sa totoo lang po, mahal ang magkameron ng mental illness. Because one diagnosis sa doktor po, provincial, nung time na yon, that was 6 years ago, 1,500. Pupunta ka sa psychiatrist kasi magpaparefill ka ng gamot, magpapareseta ka. Reseta lang po yun, 500. Sa ngayon po, ang range is 2,500 to 4,000 o 4,500 sa Metro Manila. And ang malungkot po nito, ang psychiatrist is, most of our psychiatrists, although hindi naman po lahat, ako lucky po kami na yung nakuha po namin psychiatrist, is not only pharmacologically inclined. So meaning, hindi lang po siya reseta ng reseta. Nagto-talk therapy din. No? So yun po yung mga dahilan kung bakit 11% hindi nagsisik ng help-seeking behavior. And yes, no, suicidal ideation is one of the symptoms of depression, anxiety, etc., etc. No? So yan po ang isa sa mga symptoms, no, ng mental illness. And I will not bore you about numbers. So si Doc Mel kanina very left brain, no, very logical, you know, ang kanyang presentation. But now I would like to shed light on mental illness gearing towards mental health such that there is hope for the mentally ill. Kaya po magfo-focus po ako sa mental health, and very sparingly, I will talk about mental illness. Okay? So ito po ay ranging from stress up to different kinds of depression, chronic depression, and what do you call that, MDD, major depressive disorder. So balikan po natin yung kwento ko about Dr. Jill Bolte Taylor. Ang sabi po niya, at the end of her talk sa TED Talk, hanapin niyo po yun. Available po si Dr. Jill Bolte Taylor sa TED Talks kasi very effective po siya na TED Talk speaker. Sabi niya, let us keep our children alive until they're 25. Yes, until 25 years of age. Why? Biologically and neurologically speaking, when we talk about development of the human brain, we not only talk about the 10 to 14 and the 15 to 19. Ang sinasabi nila, yung strength ng connection ng neurons will only stabilize at the age of 25. Kaya let us keep our children alive until they are 25. So yun po, no? So yun po yung mga magic numbers natin and mga magic reasons. Bakit merong suicidal ideation? Bakit may mga kabataan at the height of the pandemic, walang pambili ng laptop, nagpakamatay? Totoo po yan. Dito po, no, sa Darasa, kasi bago po ako napapunta sa NGO, salamat kay Dr. Miel kasi siya po yung nag-recommend po sa akin sa Save the Children Philippines. Totoo po yan, no? Ilan yung cases na meron po ng diagnosed na depression, hindi sila makabili ng laptop sa tagal na depression bata, and one of them even committed suicide, and that is very, very sad. Kaya po sa totoo lang, ayoko na pong tingnan ng numbers kasi escalating po. Ako mismo nakaka-depress despite the so many advocates like us, no? Talagang hindi po natin to maampak. And then sabi nga po ni Ma'am Sais kanina natin yan. May shortage po talaga tayo ng mga guidance counselors, no? And thankfully, ang mental health po has been included by the Department of Education, of which we are close partnering with sa vital services ng schools when it comes to school health and nutrition. Dati po hindi kasama ang mental health. Pero thankfully, isinama na po nila. Now, talking about shortage of professionals who deal with mental illness. Unfortunately, ang mga guidance counselors po, hindi po sila lisensyado na mag-take on at mag-treat ng mental illness. That's the difference between psychotherapists and guidance counselors. Guidance counselors can only treat and can only deal with individuals whose concerns range within the normal. So meaning, family problem, okay, nag-away ang tatay at nanay. Pero pag na-sense na po, sinasabi ni Doc Mel kanina, may red flag na. Ang bata dating di naman naka-absent, biglang ngayon absent ng absent. Tapos, ito po ang malala. I think it was in March or April, our partners would have to call me, Ma'am Edna, anong gagawin ko? Nag-send siya ng picture. Ang bata puro laslas. So, blade. Oh my God, sabi ko, anong nangyari sa batang yan? So sabi ko, kunin mo ko agad ang bata kasi baka tuluyan niyang saktan yung sarili niya. Normally, pag po kasi ganyan na may mga mental health issue, namamanhid. So numbness is one of the symptoms. Kaya they have to cut themselves, they have sometimes to mutilate themselves para may maramdaman silang sakit kasi manhid na po sila. Ganang-ganan din po yung case na na-handle ko po sa dating eskwelahan, no. Sa may dito sa may hips, lalaki. Ano naman po 'yon? Bipolar naman po. So I would ask, no, these people, especially that guy, no, buti na lang success story na din siya kasi geology student na ang bata. Sabi ko, why did you hurt yourself? Ma'am Edna, hindi po ako makaya. So they feel certain kind of numbness. Kaya dapat yung parang feeling nila, makaramdam lang ako, kailangan kong saktan ng sarili ko. Those are, alam niyo yun, pag nakita yan ng mga kaklase, matatakot yung mga kaklase niyan. No? So those are the alarming things happening in our school. At minsan hindi alam ng mga teachers to, hindi alam ng mga, siguro yan po yung pwede natin gawin. And, moving forward, kung paano po natin aalagaan yung mental health ng ating kabataan is spotting red flags among the youth. So going back, ang mga guidance counselors po, hindi po sila pwedeng mag-treat, no, ng mental illness, pero pwede po nilang bigyan intervention. Ang psychotherapist po sila, but what they hear from the psychiatrist can they can tawag dito, they can prescribe medicine. Ang psychotherapist hindi. And then ang psychotherapist, they could either be an MA holder, a master's degree holder in psychology plus with PhD. Then nakapasa po sila ng board exams. Ang psychiatrist po, mga doctor of medicine. So yan, introduction pa lang po yan. Wala pa po ako sa pinaka-main sa pinaka-main gist na aking topic. But suffice it to say that moving forward in my discussion, yan, ayaw pong kasi napako yata yung napako yung akin. Ayan. Okay, napako. Next. All right. So, I have two questions. And this is my first question. Why is almost everybody talking about mental health? Okay, nowadays. So I guess, sinagot na po ni Ma'am Sais kanina kasi ang dami po niyang flash, ang dami po niya sinabi na numbers. And then, si Doc Miel, nag-flash na rin po about percentage of suicidal ideation, suicide attempts, no, among our youth. Okay. And then also, ilang percentage lang, 11% of help-seeking behavior. All right? Now, ano nga pala po, hindi po natin tinatawag na successful ang isang suicide attempt. Kung hibawang namatay, kasi it's very offensive. Tinatawag po natin ito na suicide complete. Hindi po successful attempt. Kasi hindi po successful talaga ang mag-suicide. And that is one of the things na just, when was that? Last Saturday. Itong Saturday lang din na to. May kinausap po ako, no? Very brilliant. Very brilliant. And tell me your story, I asked him. When did you first thought about suicide? Kanina sabi ni Ma'am Sai, as young as 5-year-old, no? Something like that. Yeah, 7-year-old na rin. So, itong batang ito, his suicide ideation happened when he was in grade 5. He was about 10 or 8. So, yun. Can you imagine, no? So, talagang, and the guy now is 21 or 22. So, ganun, matagal lang panahon, matagal. Pero bakit ngayon? So, parang nag-plateau, parang nagkameron ng peak during the pandemic because the youth, the students cannot get out. So, hindi sila makalabas ng bahay. So, nare-restrict yung movement nila. And we have two kinds of personality. We have extroverts and we have introverts. Kung akala po ninyo, and let me demystify you on extroversion, introversion, kung akala po ninyo ang introverts ay basta lang tahimik at ang extroverts ay mga magugulo at pag nakakita kayo ng magulo ay extrovert at pag nakakita kayo ng tahimik ay introvert na, hindi po iyon ang basis ng introversion at extroversion. Ang basis po niyan is kung saan po sila nagre-recharge. In my case, you might see me very noisy now, but I am an introvert because I get my stimulation. I am more stimulated when I am alone and when I am quiet. I am in my most peaceful mode when I am alone. And after this, pag natapos na po itong talk ko, papatayin ko po muna ang video ko kasi medyo mahina po yung medyo mahina po ang aking internet connection. After this, mamaya mag-isa na lang ulit ako sa kwarto tapos magbabasa na lang po ulit ako. So, yeah. Now, anong kinalaman ng extroversion at saka introversion? Yung mga extroverts ngayon, di syempre lockdown, nasa bahay lang, hindi naman nakapag-enroll ang mga bata. Ayun na. Yung external stimulation nila which they used to enjoy pre-pandemic, hindi na nila ma-enjoy. Which is my sister who is an extrovert, sabi niya, ate, talaga nga palang nakakautas itong lockdown na ito. Kasi sila mismo, and she's living overseas, ang stimulation niya is gagala siya, magtitingin-tingin siya sa nature, etc., etc. So, kaya yun po, no? So, talagang nag-peak. Kaya pagdating po during the pandemic, non-stop din naman po yung tigil ng mga programa namin sa eskwelahan, sa mga kabataan, ano? Ang dami-dami po talaga, and some of them, they were all clinically diagnosed with depression. And these are major depressive disorder, MDD, kasi it was brought about by the pandemic as compared to what we have experienced in the family, which is chronic depressive disorder or CDD or dysthymia, because pagkabata meron na, pero yung symptoms ay lumabas nung siya ay teenager na, nung adolescent na. Okay? So yan. Now, and this is my question. Why are we talking about it only now? Okay. Why only now? Kasi nakalagay dito nowadays, but why only now? Okay. Why only now? Kasi kung titingnan natin, kagaya nun, kausap ko na 22 years old na ngayon, pero yung suicidal ideation niya happened when he was 11. So that was about 10 or 11 years ago. Diba? So ibig sabihin nun, hindi lang 2023, pinag-uusapan natin dito, 2013 na timeline. And even before that, okay, hindi lang siguro siya masyado pinag-uusapan kasi nga ang lakas ng stigma, tabu. Tabu ang makakita tayo sa kalye ng mga taong gala, tapos wala sa sarili, diba? So hindi pa ganun ka-compassionate yung society natin when it comes to talking about mental health. Okay? Pero kung titingnan mo, it's not only 2013, it's not only the early 2000s, not only in the 1900s, pero kung titingnan natin, simula pa yan ng Old Testament. Kaya kanina, I would apologize doon sa mga non-believer, pero bukod sa believer po ako, nagbabasa din naman po ako ng Bible kahit pa paano. The time of Job, diba? Ikaw ang mawalan ng buong angkan mo, ng buong properties mo. Nakaka-depress po talaga yun. Kaya meron na rin siya finally ng state. Diba? And then in the New Testament, come to think of it, yun pong pag-rupture ng blood vessels niya, kaya namawis ng dugo, di ba, nag-excrete na ng dugo, it was a case of extreme stress. And medically and scientifically speaking, a person who is in a very, very depressive state, talaga pong pwede po talagang mag-rupture. Okay? Pwede po talagang mag-rupture, no? Yung kanilang blood vessels. And ang iba sa atin, At mamaya pag-uusapan natin yan, pag na-trigger yung limbic system natin, that part of our brain, deep within, ingrained in our brain, pag na-trigger yan at nagtuloy-tuloy, so po pwedeng hindi nga mag-rupture yung ating mga blood vessels, pero pwede po itong mag-lead into various physical and psychological illnesses. Ma'am Cynthia, are you raising your hand? If you are, yes, please feel free to unmute yourself. Or you can also write your question in our chat box. Sige lang po, I can entertain question basta po mag-raise lang kayo ng hand or mag-ano po kayo sa chat box. Okay? So yan. Another, ito, medyo part of the 18th or 19th century. Van Gogh. So I read his what they call that, life story, his biography as written by various authors. Yung description ng doctor, no, na tumitingin sa kanya, ang sabi sa kanila, ang modern day na equivalent no ay bipolar disorder. Okay? And then, eto, magugulat kayo dito. Mother Teresa, she was very vocal about the dark night of her soul. And when I read one of her books, yung description niya ng dark night, it's something very, very painful. Why painful? For all that she is, the religious, the spiritual leader that she is, she felt that God was absent even in her prayer. Hindi niya maramdaman ang presensya ng Diyos na pinakasentro ng lahat ng works niya as a nun, as a charity worker, and she's a living saint. But prior to her death, and I think until her deathbed, she carried with her that dark night. Hindi niya maramdaman ang presensya ng Diyos. And kapag yan ang nawala, Diyos ko, sabi ko, pag iniisip ko, Diyos ko, Lord, pag hindi po yata mararamdaman ang presensya mo sa buhay ko, baka ikamatay po talaga. And Mother Teresa, I just forgot kung kailan niya po naramdaman ito, pero matagal na panahon. And my suspicion is that until her deathbed, she experienced that dark night of soul, which I think pwede po natin equate po ito sa depression. No? Okay. Now, so that's my point. Mental health, ang usaping mental health and illness has been there since time immemorial. And if you go back to my first model, si Jesus, how did he take care of his mental health? He would go to the mountain and be there alone because he has to gain his energy so that when finally he would be up again with the crowd, seeking for his help, for his healing, listening to his teaching, he will be recharged again. Okay? But the God that he is, hindi niya kayang tiisin yung mga tao na kahit nag-iisa siya at nagdarasal pag nandyan na tinabi sa kanyang mga apostoles niya, Master, nandyan na naman sila. And then immediately, he will go back to his life of service because scientifically also there's been research nowadays that volunteerism and service, just like what you do in Rotary, that's why you have to congratulate yourself and tap yourselves. Volunteerism and act of service is actually one of the ways by which you can maintain your mental health. Yan po ay proven in research. Kapag po kayo ay nasa mga volunteer works, yung mga medical mission ninyo, yung mga advocacy ninyo, sa mga young girls, etc., those are all contributory to mental health. And you keep on doing that. You keep on influencing people to do what you are doing, and you congratulate yourself and tap yourselves because you are doing a job well done as the time. Okay, now, here, what I'd like to tell you is this, that mental health is both part of our physiology because it's part of our neural and cellular security. Okay, sorry medyo technical. Sabi neurons, so those are the nerves that run in our nervous system. And our nervous system would run from our brain up to our spinal cord. Okay, and our cellular circuitry. So meaning our cells. Kasama po iyan. So kanina sinabi ko sa inyo, the neurons, hindi nagpa-flash ng mga taong may mental illness. Kaya pag nakita nyo sila sa MRI, medyo iba yung image, dark ng konti, compared doon sa medyo kumukuti-kutitap, no? Na supposedly brain ng quote-unquote normal individual. So pag hindi po nagpa-fire up ng yung neurons na yon, hindi kagaya po natin na nagpa-fire up po yan. So pag nag-fire up yan, so malinaw, kumukuti-kutitap po yan. Ang mga may depression, medyo madilim ng konti. In the case, for example, of OCD, yung mga may obsessive compulsive disorder, merong 3 parts ng brain nila ang very active. Okay, mamaya ipakikita ko din po sa inyo yung part na yon na medyo active sa mga may OCD. Okay? So we talk about here of our mental health as part of our neural and cellular activity is part of who we are. In fact, this is what Dr. Vivek Murthy in his book Together said. Si Dr. Vivek Murthy was kakilala to ni Ma'am Dory kasi ano siya, naging state surgeon siya ng DF. Now, what did he have to say? The sensory fibers that register emotional and physical pain overlap in the brain. This proximity means that loneliness, loss, or disappointment can produce symptoms similar to those caused by physical blows or wounds. Okay? So, ano po yan? Nag-overlap sa brain yung part na yon, yung sensory fiber. You might call also one of the structures of our brain. So, ang naging research po dito, yung isang tao, nung pinagmumura, okay? Tapos, nung sinampal siya, iisa ang nag-fire up doon sa brain niya. Okay? So, that means, kung ano po yung nararanasan ng physical body natin na pain at yung nararanasan natin na psychological pain, lahat ng yan nasa iisang structure ng brain natin. And that is the structure of, kung makikita po natin, itong nilalagyan ko ng highlight, yung cingulate gyrus. Okay? So that's part of the brain that po nag-overlap both yun pong physical pain and psychological pain. So pag sinampal ka, yung physical pain ng sampal, nararanasan ng cingulate gyrus po natin. Pag pinagmumura ka, pag nilait ang pagkatao mo, yan din po ang nagpa-fire up. So iisa. Kaya hindi po natin pwede paghiwalayin ang physical health at mental health. Kung paano po natin inaalagaan, okay, mag-exercise ka, kumain ka ng mga maaayos na pagkain, tumulog ka ng maayos, yan din po ang sasabihin ko sa inyo na pamamaraan na dapat nyong gawin when you exercise yung mental health. Because certainly the food that we eat, that we take in, you have to be also alert. Ano ang epekto sa akin pag halimbawa kumakain ako ng junk food versus halimbawa kumain ako ng saging? And the more you know your cellular, the more you know your biology, the better it is for you. That means the more you are in sync with your internal system. Okay? Now, make no mistake, but there is such a thing as broken heart syndrome. Broken heart syndrome. Akala niyo yung broken heart kapag lang halimbawa mga binrate na mga boyfriend, girlfriend, so mga kabataan natin, tapos kayo, nag-away kayo, or naghiwalay, etc., etc. A broken heart syndrome can also happen in the case of grief. That same doctor, yung pinakita ko sa iyo kanina, si Dr. Vivek Murthy, is an Indian American. He had an uncle, tapos silang magpinsan, very dear sa kanilang uncle na to. Mismo sa wake ng uncle na yon, his other cousin, who loved his uncle very, very much, who died, on that same instance, namatay of heart attack. Broken heart syndrome. Kaya hindi din po natin maiaalis na, for example, ang isa pong mag-asawa na matanda, when they grew old, and then if one of them finally left or finally leaves, hindi po natin maiaalis na abangan po natin, yung kabiyak o pwede na pong sumunod. And witness din po ako dyan. We have a family friend, no? They live abroad. And then the parents are residing here. Very religious, no, ang family. And then the mother, the matriarch of the family died. Inseparable yung mag-asawa. So yung matanda na-depress, etc., na-depress. Ang ginawa ng mga anak, sige tatay, i-apply ka uli namin ng visa, bumalik ka dito sa Canada. So binabalik. Alright? And that was siguro a few months after. Hindi tumagal ng 6 na buwan. Tumawag sila ng 911. Namatay ang ama sa Canada. It was also tragic for them kasi lifeless yung tatay. Hindi nila pwedeng galawin basta-basta. Nandun lang, no? The lifeless body of the father died there. Wala, I think not even a year or maybe just more than a year. Sumunod yung asawa. It's a broken heart syndrome. Okay? Now, the one that is affected, all right, of all the parts of our brain is actually our limbic system. Okay? That is where we process our emotion, our desires, even our learning and our memory. Okay? Now, ang tumatanggap po ng lahat ng stress na to, pag nakikita natin, for example, yung boss natin, halimbawa, hindi natin gusto. Pag nakakakita tayo ng imminent danger, whether it is human, whether it is natural, whether it is catastrophic, whether it is beast or whatever, whether it is a fellow human being, ang natitrigger po sa atin yung ating amygdala. Yan. So, binilugan ko din po, sana nakikita niyo po yan. Now, so what happens when our amygdala is triggered? It's gonna emit, a lot of cortisol. Tapos that will different kinds of hormones. Tapos pupunta yan, no, into different organs of our body. So especially our kidneys, which will then pump the adrenaline, which is located just above our kidneys. Kung kaya nga po, hindi ba po tayo magtataka, how are we able to carry a refrigerator in case of fire? Totoo po yun, because the adrenaline has been pumped. Okay? Now, this is my question. What happens when our amygdala is constantly triggered? Because mamaya pakikita ko din po sa inyo, no, na we have to be mindful also of 90-second rule. Kapag araw-araw kang stress, gigising ka, hindi ka pa nakakapagpasalamat, hindi ka pa nakakapag-attitude, gratitude, or gratitude, attitude, whatever that is. Iniisip mo na kaagad, Diyos ko, ang dami kong gagawin sa opisina. Naku, ito na naman yung reklamador na empleyado. Naku, ito nga pala, meron pa nga pala ako. Kung ano-ano pumasok sa isipan mo. So, ayan na, triggered na si amygdala. Okay, so trigger after trigger after trigger after trigger. Now, so that cortisol, that hormone, will remain in our system. And our system, which is very intelligent, akala niya, mainstay na si cortisol. Mag-i-stay na yan sa system na. Now, what is so dangerous about cortisol? Too much of the hormone cortisol, if it's in our system, will lead to so many disorders. Kaya wag na po kayo magtaka if you are living a high stressful life. So nandiyan na, papasok na. Diabetes, heart ailment, what else? Hypertension, and in some cases, mental illness. So talagang umaano po yan, naglilid yan sa depression, sa anxiety, sa panic disorder, etc., etc. Okay, so that happens. Now, the 1-2 punch in our limbic system is the amygdala and the hippocampus. Okay? So ano naman ang ginagawa ng hippocampus natin? Ang ginagawa po ng hippocampus natin, that's the one that is responsible for our learning and memory. Okay, now, ito po ang masaklap. Kapag triggered ang amygdala mo, hirap na hirap mag-process ng information ang hippocampus. That is why youth who are inside the classroom, who are stressed, bababa po ang retention ng mga yan because hippocampus is basically in charge of our learning. Okay? Kaya pati yung memory natin, hindi tayo makaalala kapag ang amygdala natin po ay triggered. Okay? So yan. Are we good? Are we okay? Can you give me, okay, thank you po RC and ME. How about the others? Can you give me A 143 in your chat if you're still okay. Kung nagre-register pa po ba? Naku, wala akong makitang 143 sa chat. Yun, okay. Okay, thank you po. Ayan, dumadami na. Okay, I hope na medyo may natututunan na po kayo kahit medyo technical, pero 14344, thank you. So yun, sinisimplihan ko lang po yung presentation na to, pero this topic talagang ito po, kinarir ko po talaga itong topic na ito. Alright? Okay, now. See? Alright. So ito na po. So pinag-uusapan na po natin, no? Mga na-trigger ang ating limbic system, ang ating amygdala, Diyos ko, pump ng cortisol, ang dami-daming cortisol sa katawan natin, hindi siya maalis-alis, akala niya okay na, at pag dumami po yung cortisol na yon, Diyos ko po, hello, kaya po tayo may mga maintaining drugs, yan po yan, no? And matagal na pong alam natin to. Number one killer really of our physical and psychological well-being is really stress. Okay? Believe me, I had been a human resource manager in the HR. Oh my God, never a dull moment. Talagang Diyos ko, Lord, sabi ko, I had to make the drastic decision. I said, no, this can no longer be. I have to live my life. I have a life to live. I quit HR and joined corporate social responsibility. Doon po ako naglingkod sa community hanggang sa hinila po ako ni Doc Miel sa NGO. So, yun, no? So I really had to make conscious choice. Kasi at that time, hindi ko na rin alam, lunod na rin po ako sa trabaho ng HR. So I had to make conscious choice to really give up that kind of job kasi hindi na. And even my brother is also living abroad. Truck driver po siya. Pero ang pinadrive niyang mga truck, yung mga anhydrous, no, na tinatawag, yung mga dangerous goods minsan. So mga ammonia, etc. So yan. Tapos ngayon, nagpa-farm siya. Sabi niya, why are you in farming? Have you resigned as truck driver? Sabi niya, hindi ate, nag-live lang ako sa liit. Sabi niya, ate, I need to live my life. At least kung farmer ako ngayon, ang sinasaka ko ngayon mga trigo, mga oat, tapos bukas ate yung seeds ng canola, yung ginagamit nyo na canola oil, yun ang harvest. So you also have to take a break, from his usual routine as truck driver because he would cross province. Nasa Saskatchewan siya, pupunta siya ng Manitoba, pupunta siya ng Alberta, pupunta siya ng Ontario, kung saan siya nakakapunta, no? So, kaya sabi niya, ate, I have to live my life because sometimes 7 araw hindi na ako nakakauwi sa pamilya. So, that's what is way of taking care of his mental health. In my case, I quit my job as HR. I'm free. Okay, so now I have more time to read the books that I like. Okay, now. Okay, eto. Ayan. So sabi ko kanina pa ako inik ng inik. Left and right hemisphere of the brain. Check ko lang po yung chat natin. No? Yes, opo. Medyo technical. Yes, pero yes, kasi po layman din po ako. Hindi naman po ako doktor. Pero yung mga binabasa ko po ay authored ng mga doctor of philosophy tsaka mga medical doctor. In fact, one of my readings now is on neuroplasticity. It's written by a psychiatrist. So, medical doctor po siya. So, mamaya pag-uusapan din po natin ang neuroplasticity. I'm sorry. Okay. Now, kanina pa ako make na inek. Left and right hemisphere of the brain. Ayan. Lagi natin sinasabi, ang left hemisphere, yan yung logical side ng brain natin. Ang right hemisphere, yan ang creative side natin. Okay? Totoo naman din po yan. Okay? But, there's a very interesting story that I'd like also to relate with. Again, with Jill Bolte Taylor. She's one of my heroes. And I also invite you to also identify one of your heroes if you want to read your mental health. She's one of my heroes, si Jill Bolte. I have encountered her through my readings about 3 or 4 years ago. And then pinanood ko kaagad siya sa YouTube. No? And then, luckily, nakakuha ako ng 2 kopya ng book niya, My Stroke of Insight and Whole Brain Thinking. My stroke of insight is all about her experience when she had massive stroke in the left hemisphere of her brain. Ang kinuha sa kanyang kasing laki ng golf ball, yung dugo. No? And she was able to relate in her TED Talk, and even in her book, it's more vivid, it's more comprehensive in the book about this left and right hemisphere. This is what she told the audience and her reader. When she lost the mental faculties of her left brain hemisphere, she cannot walk, she cannot compute, she cannot talk, she cannot, lahat, no, nawala. Napunta siya doon sa part ng brain niya, the right hemisphere, and she told the audience, it was nirvana. Okay? When she lost all of her logical, all of the monkey brain that is so talkative in her left, and she was able to go to her right hemisphere. Doon niya naramdaman nirvana, or the peaceful side of herself. Kaya sinasabi din niya in her book, peace is really just a thought away. Kaya lagay ko dito, stop the power of the right hemisphere of your brain, because this is where the deepest peace of our persona, dito po siya nagre-reside in the right hemisphere. And the question is, paano? Paano natin gagawin na itatap lagi at medyo pahihinain po natin yung left hemisphere? Okay? Mamaya, no? Mamaya, pag-uusapan po natin. But first, let me tell you, anong character meron si right hemisphere brain? So, ayun na naman. Okay. This is sinasabi. At the core of our right hemisphere consciousness, yan, it is directly connected with our feeling of deep inner peace. Okay? It is completely committed to the expression of peace, love, joy, and compassion. Now, after our webinar on mental health, if you intend to continue your advocacy and have a program for the youth as far as mental health is concerned, you have to be mentally healthy. Okay? You cannot afford not to walk the talk. Hindi po pwedeng talk ka ng talk diyan about mental health. Pero ikaw mismo, sa sarili mo, wala ka rin namang kapayapaan. You have to be the one to emanate first that deep and inner peace. You have to be the one first to express and to emanate that love, joy, and compassion. Because you do. It is embedded in your persona as Rotarians because you have embraced the life of service and volunteerism. So there is so much bigness of compassion in your heart. And I'm very sure that when you go out of the community, do all of your volunteer and your service work for the humanity, I'm sure that there is so much joy in her. And joy is something that you can find within. It's different from happiness. Okay? Happiness is something that is external. It's driven by our external circumstances. Oh, I saw my dog. Okay? For example. But then again, when you feel, for example, that deep joy out of looking at your beneficiaries, looking at their eyes, at nakita ninyo na nakinabang sila no, doon sa simpleng servisyo, nagpapalamat sila, they're very grateful to you, and you feel that joy, and also you feel that love, I'm telling you, nasa inyo yan. Okay? Pero mas mapapagyaman nyo pa yung buhay na yan if we will just allow the silence of our brain to take over. Okay? Moving on. So, the most fundamental trait of our right brain, our right brain is inner peace and compassion. And ito yan. Okay. In neuroplasticity, ano sinasabi ko? Kasi dati, ang sinasabi, in the 1960s, medyo yung brain daw natin localized. Okay? So meaning, ang isang function, for example, ng senses natin, kung vision lang, vision lang. But there has been research telling us otherwise. Our brain is not necessarily functioning localized. Okay? Not necessarily. Because some experiments would say that when a certain part of, for example, sa pusa, a certain part of yung paw, no, ng pusa, hinawakan, hindi lang vision kundi pati other areas of the brain also fired up. Okay? And gone also are the days when he said that when neurons die, they die. Okay? And gone also are the days when he said that the brain cannot change. No. The brain changes itself. The brain heals itself. It's through neuroplasticity. And how do we do that? Here, it's in the second sentence. The more time we spend running our peace and compassion circuitry, the more peace and compassion we will project into the world, and ultimately, the more peace and compassion we will have on the planet. Why? Okay, now, paano pumasok dito ang neuroplasticity? The more time we spend running our peace and compassion circuitry, kapag yan, when you run on that circuitry, you are strengthening that circuitry. Okay? In the same way, if it is the anger security or the anxiety or the panic circuitry that you will always stop in your brain, yung jealousy mo, your envy mo, your anger mo, yung resentment mo, sige, patigasin mo ng patigasin ang circuitry na yan at yan na talagang magraran sa. Okay? And that is the power of self-talk. Okay? We have to be very, very careful about our self-talk. And this is my notes, what my note is saying, telling me. When you berate yourself, for example, pag minaliit mo masyado ang sarili mo or na-disappoint ka sa sarili mo, you ask this question. Have you ever noticed how those negative internal thought patterns have the tendency to generate increased levels of inner hostility and or increased levels of anxiety? Have you ever noticed how negative internal dialogue can negatively influence how we treat others? And thus, what we attract. Okay? So, you know, abuse may not only come from the outside. It can also come from within. What do we mean? If we also internally, verbally abuse via our self-talk, it can really affect us. And it's not gonna be helpful. Okay? So it's your choice. And later, I will also tell you what our choices are. Would you really like to run that anger, that resentment, that envy, that jealousy circuitry? Or would you rather run your peace and compassion? Because I'm telling you, in my personal experience, ang tagal-tagal kong nabuhay din, no? Na may mga jealousy ako, may envy ako, di ba? And then I would tell myself, no, I'll tell my brain, especially my left brain, kasi ang left brain talaga po ang involved doon sa mga chatters natin. I call it monkey brain. Okay? No, I tell my brain, no, I've had enough of it. I thank you for I talk to my brain. I thank you for your service. I thank you for your intelligence in recognizing jealousy and anger and envy. But no, I've had enough of it. I'd rather have peace and joy in my heart. Okay? So yeah, that's neuroplasticity. We strengthen. That is why, from the standpoint also of psychotherapy, yun pong ginagawa therapeutic, psychotherapeutic, what do you call that, intervention wherein pinaiiyak yung pasyente, hindi na po rin siya useful. Dati po, ginawa po yan ni Sigmund Freud, yung aming, our ancestor, you know, sa psych, ginawa din po yan ni Freud. Okay? So, it has been proven not effective because it only strengthens yun pong circuitry o yung path ng neuron and cells. And gusto nga po natin, i-inhibit po natin because the strength of our neurocircuitry is when they are not compatible with each other, but on how they inhibit each other in terms of behavior. Okay? So if we inhibit the circuitry of anger, so pinapa-weaken po natin yan. Diyan po mapasok ang neuroplasticity because our brain can be retrained and can be reprogrammed. That is the good news. It can be retrained, it can be reprogrammed. Even in the cases of mental illness, of mental disorder, it has ginagamit na din po ang neuroplasticity in obsessive compulsive behavior, in simple cases such as worry, anxiety, panic disorder, even depression. Neuroplasticity is being used. Gone are the days that ganun pa rin po yung sinasabi natin na fixed entity ang brain. No, that's the good news. It keeps on growing. Okay? It's on growing, keeps on developing, depending on the circuitry that we are trying to run. All right? Okay. Now, how do we strengthen our right brain? Right brain hemisphere. Ang simple, di ba? Hinga. Breathe. So sasabihin nyo, hihinga lang? Oh yes, but some people, they have forgotten the gift of breathing. Okay, so parang sabi nga nila, ang iba humihinga lang, pero hindi na sila nabubuhay. But as basic as breathing, believe it or not, I'm doing this as part of my mindfulness meditation exercise. Not only every morning, but whenever I can during the day, especially when I get upset, I'm gonna stop and then I'm gonna breathe. Talaga pong ako ay hihinga. Okay? Now, why is breathing so important? Breathing is important because this is when we hit the pause button and stop our cellular communication instantly. Naku, ayan na, nagagalit ka na. Okay? So, nasa present moment ka, nagalit ka na. So, alam mo na. Teka, nagagalit na ako. Okay? Stop. And then, you breathe. Okay? So, breathe. And it has been proven to be particularly helpful when experiencing bouts of hostility and anxiety. It is when we breathe, when we break the circuit and create space for something new. It is when we run a circuit by choice that it becomes stronger. So kapag, example, anger, galit ka na, no? So you hit your pause button. Hindi ka muna okay, let me turn on my camera. All right. So, hindi ka muna, ipopause mo muna yung galit mo. So, hinga ka lang, no? And as much as possible, make this deliberate. Hindi rapid, ha? Hindi rapid. Because the right hemisphere of our brain works really very slowly. Mellow ang ating right brain. Okay? So, join me in breathing. Can you join me in breathing? I'd like to see some parts. Hihinga lang po tayo. I invite you to, okay? Eyes closed or wide open. Okay. Just 10 deep breaths. 10 deep breaths. Breathing. Thank you, Ma'am Joy. Breathing. 1. Exhale slowly. And then imagine that God, or however you call your supreme being, the universe, your nirvana, experience God in the exhale. And then 2, inhale again. Exhale. Remember, God is in the exhale. 3, exhale. 4, exhale. 5, exhale. 6, exhale. 7, exhale. 8, exhale. 9, exhale. 10, exhale. And you are right here with me right now in the present moment. Believe me, that those 10 breathing that we did, it was fantastic. Did you find it fantastic too? Did you find it fantastic too? Please give me a 3. Is breathing fantastic? Give me a 3. Thank you, Ma'am Glo. How about the others? Yes. Yes. You see a lot of 3s. All right. Ano? Yeah, thank you for, yeah, so many 3s. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to all of you. Why is breathing so magnificent? 1, because it's free. Diba? Well, hindi ka naman aided ng oxygen eh. Naku, pag hininga mo, piso. Piso. Libre ang air. And our breathing is something that we have for as long as we live. So let's maximize our breathing. Okay? That's what I do when I wake up. So immediately, mindfulness meditation lang ako. Okay? So mindfulness meditation, which I'm going to talk to you about mamaya. Meditation also. Okay. Huh? Wait. Okay. So that's the important. And yun, it creates something new. And then mamaya, pag-uusapan din po natin in relation to breathing, the 90-second rule. Okay? Ang ibig sabihin po ng 90-second rule, yung isang circuitry, for example, anger, dapat 90 seconds lang yan sa system mo. Pag tumagal yan, galit ka pa rin after 90 seconds, it's your choice. Mamaya pag-uusapan. Okay, now, it's 11:20. Sabi ko pa naman, naiksi lang presentation ko. Okay, kalahati pa lang po tayo. Wala pa sa kalahati. Okay, now, sleeping. We honor the healing power of sleep. Okay? So, kagabi lang po, no? Sa Netflix, meron yan. Pinanood ko yung sleep. So, ilan nga ba talaga? What's the magic number? They would say it's 8. Okay? They would say now it's 7. I used to say before that I'm okay with 5 hours sleep. But no. Sleep is something na medyo, ako, guilty your honor po ako dito. Hindi ako masyado nakakatulog. Okay? Ito yung medyo ina-address ko again by my own programming. So medyo nagre-reprogram din po ako ng utak ko ngayon. So nire-review ko ngayon yung activities ko for the day para pagdating po ng gabi, medyo slow down na ako. And then even my screen time, binabawasan ko na rin po. Because one can never underestimate the healing power of sleep. So many recovery from illnesses happen, no? During our moments of slumber. Kasi dyan po talaga yung ating system, nagre-recharge, nagre-reset. Especially they said, yung bracket ng 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. kasi yun po ang reproduction ng ating red blood cells. Those are the most important times. No? Kaya lang iba po sa atin, natutulog ng 10 o'clock. Iba naman, di naman kaagad yung kaya ng iba na kapag quickie, tulog ka agad. Iba, mahirap gumawa ng tulog. Okay? So, that's one of the things, no? So 2 p.m. to 2 a.m. So we never sleep is life. Yes, Miss Beverly, totoo po yan. Sleep of life. Nalala ko tuloy ng mga bata pa kami. Pag pinapatulog kami ng mga matatanda sa tanghali, galit kami. Kasi gusto pa natin, di ba, maglaro. Pero ngayon, Diyos ko, sleep is a precious commodity. Di ba? Pumupunta pa talaga sa masarap na lugar para lang tumulog. In some universities, they have the sleeping quarter for students who are not able to give a good night's sleep. Okay? So yan. So sleep, that's one of the things that we can also do. Ayan. To maintain our mental health. Prayer and meditation. Okay, this is very, very interesting. I read a book about prayer. And it's actually not all about prayer, but it's all about energies. Okay? Now, kung titignan po ninyo mga psychiatrists, mga medical doctor yan. Diba? And they are, medyo sila yung skeptics about the power of prayer. But a research has been made. Doc Mel, calling po, about AIDS patients. They had this control and experimental group. So one group was under treatment. So inassignan po sila ng mga prayer warriors. Okay? So one group of HIV patients, merong prayer warriors, different kinds. Religious, Christian, Katoliko, mga shamans, okay? Yung mga nag-chant, etc., etc. And then the other group, walang mga prayer warriors. And you know, findings, yung longevity ng mga may HIV, AIDS virus, mas mataas doon sa mga may nagpe-pray versus doon sa mga hindi nagpe-pray. Not only about longevity but even well-being, no? So yung kanilang mga T cells, kumbaga, medyo bumaba. All right? So kaya mas maayos yung well-being noong mga nasa mga may prayer warriors. Now, there's another very, very interesting research also conducted when it comes to prayer and meditation, and this is it. Okay, now, ito lang, before I go to that prayer power. By choosing to meditate, pray, or practice mindfulness, we can certainly quiet the chatter of our deaf brain and free ourselves from the prison of our own minds. Okay? Because between the left and the right, it is the left hemisphere of the brain which is noisy. Yan yung monkey brain natin. Yan yung kapag nagme-meditate ako, nagma-mindfulness meditation ako, inis ako kasi kung ano-anong pumapasok sa isipan ko. Kaya mindfulness, tapos biglang babalik na naman ako to the present moment. Okay? So ang daming times talaga, ay, meron nga pala akong lulutuin, nagme-meditate ako noon, biglang, oops, teka muna, nag-iingay si Monkey Mind. Okay, pala. Tingnan na naman ako. Tingnan. Okay. Now, this is the interesting research on neurotheology. Okay. And this has been published in a book also by Drs. Andrew Newberg and Eugene D'Aquili because they were the ones who conducted the research. Why God won't walk? Why God won't go away? So ito yung part ng research. So using that single photon emission computed tomography, so pinapasok yung mga subjects nila inside that apparatus, okay? So that they can identify the neuroanatomy o ano nga pa ang physiology natin underlying our ability to have our religious or spiritual or mystical experience. So what happens really to the human mind, to the human brain, to the human body when we are praying or meditating? Okay. So they want to understand the physiology. Okay, so ito yung mga subjects nila. Tibetan meditators and Franciscan nuns, they were invited to meditate or pray inside that machine. And then they were instructed, once they felt that they reached the climax of their prayer or meditation, they were instructed to tug a cotton twine if they have already felt that unity with God. Okay? Now, these experiences identified shifts in neurological activity in very specific regions in the brain. Okay. Now, ito po yung naging findings. So, nag-reach ng peak in prayer yung mga Tibetan meditators and the Franciscan nuns. Then what happened? When they reached their peak in their prayer and meditation, there was a decrease in the activity of the left hemisphere language centers, resulting in a silencing of their brain chatter. Tumahimik. More interestingly, there was a decrease in activity in the orientation association area located in the posterior parietal gyrus of the left hemisphere. Ano pong ibig sabihin naman ng number 2? Hindi na po nila nararamdaman ang physical boundaries ng katawan nila. Meaning, yung elevation ng kanilang well-being, ng kanilang pagkatao, it is beyond physical already. Okay? They cannot anymore identify their physical space. It's as if they are one. Yun po ang, walang nag-light up. Okay? Kundi bumaba yung language center in the left hemisphere. Those are the very interesting findings. Okay. So, why God won't go away, sinasabi? Because they said that the God within our God within, our nirvana, our universe, is part of our physiology. There is a God, there is a divine within that cannot be separated from who we are. And judging from the books that I've read, hindi man po sinabi na Jill Bolte Taylor. I think really the residence is in the right hemisphere, physiologically. Okay? Mag-i-stop video po ako dahil mahina po ang connection. All right. Next. Ako po ay, yeah, I know it's 11:39 and I am the person standing between you and your lunch. I'm sorry. Meron pa po tayong question and answer. Bibilisan ko na lang po. Okay. Silence the voice of your left brain. Ito na po, sinasabi ko. So how do you silence? Ayun na, balikan po natin. Breathing, sleeping, praying, meditating. And then, isulat niyo po ito. I invite you to listen to Jeffrey Thompson's music. They are clinically proven audio technology. Okay? So, sinasilence po niya yung sympathetic part ng brain natin. Yung sympathetic part ng brain natin, yung po yung nati-trigger pag po tayo ay nai-stress. Okay? So, in effect, pinapa-silence po niya yung left brain natin. So, it's a combination of high string sound, which is the representation of our left brain, and sounds in the lower, okay, lower tone, and then in the middle. Yung middle tone, yun po yung tone ng ating right hemisphere. So when you close your eyes, this experience might also lead you to mindfulness meditation because it will put you in a mode wherein you are just focused in the music. You are trying to listen, distinguish those high notes, their low notes, and those middle notes, those tones. Okay? Pakinggan nyo lang po yun. I think on the average 30 minutes. And there's a lot. Meron po pang patulog, meron po pang pa-relax, pag anxious, pag stress. Okay? So listen to Jeffrey Thompson's music because they are clinically proven audio technology. Okay, now, I'm not saying that our left brain hemisphere is bad. I'm not saying that only the right is good because there should be a healthy balance between our left brain and our right brain. Okay? So we thank our left brain for the intelligence, for the logical sequence of our lives. Okay? Because it's the left brain, it's our left brain which says that we have to put on our socks first before our shoes. Pag hindi na po nagpa-function ng maayos yung left brain natin, eh baka mauna pa po yung ating pantalon kaysa sa underwear. Okay? So there has to be a perfect balance, a beautiful, healthy balance between our right and left hemisphere. But when our left hemisphere start to talk about, that anger, etc., eto na, lahat pati mga betrayal na naranasan mo simula nung bata ka pa, kausapin nyo na. Please, I do not want to run in that circuitry anymore. I thank you for your service. I thank you for acknowledging that you are very intelligent. I know that you have hurt in the past, but please, we do not run anymore that circuitry. No more. Okay? Yeah. So healthy balance. And this is my favorite. Own your power. The power to choose. Okay? Lahat tayo, meron yan. The power to choose. And that is your power. And I want you to own it. Because, according to Jill Bolte Taylor, I knew that no one had the power to make me feel anything except for me. Nothing external to me had the power to take away my peace of heart and mind. That was completely up to me. I may not be in total control of what happens to my life because externally a lot of things can happen, right? But she said, but I am certainly in charge of how I choose to perceive my experience. And even Mahatma Gandhi had to say, no one can hurt me unless I allow them to do so. That was Mahatma Gandhi. Okay. Now, I also would like you to remember this because I would like you to own your power. That as biological creatures, we are profoundly powerful people. But we have to be conscious on the kind of circuity that we are running. Okay? The more conscious attention we pay to any particular circuit, or the more time we spend thinking specific thoughts, the more impetus those circuits or thought patterns have to run with minimal external stimulation. So think happy, think joyfully, and eventually it's all part of your system. Take away the negativities, okay? Because there's a lot of things that you can do to really get away from it, okay? So, yun nga eh, no? So, the more that we have one, for example, the circuit of joy, and eventually the circuit of gratitude, that it becomes second nature with you, and before you know it, you don't even have to put so much effort. Minimal external stimulation na lang ang kailangan ninyo so that you will be able to run into that gratitude, into that joy, into that thanksgiving, into your own nirvana. Okay? Our minds are highly sophisticated. Seek and you shall find instruments. That is why it's also probably, alam niyo yung The Secrets, di ba, ni Rhonda, that probably is the reason why it's very, very powerful. Okay? Because totoo naman yan. Seek and you shall find. Kaya ang ano ko din po sa inyo, my challenge also to you is to ask yourself, what do you attract in your life? What energy are you trying to emit? What energy are you trying to attract and to get into your life? Okay? We have the power to choose moment by moment who and how we want to be in the world. Eto na, 90-second rule. What does it say? It takes less than 90 seconds for one of our emotional programs to be triggered, surge through our body, and then be completely flushed out of our bloodstream. That is medically speaking. 90 seconds lang po. Yang galit na yan, 90 seconds lang yan. Matitrigger ka. Okay? It will surge through your body and then flush out na po. 90 seconds. 90 seconds lang. Okay. Kapag lumagpas na po yan ng 90 seconds, yan na po ay choice nyo na po yan. Okay, example. Initial trigger mo is anger. So it should be at 90 seconds completely dissipated na from your blood system and your automatic response is over. But if you remain to be in that anger circuit beyond 90 seconds, that is because you have allowed your circuit of anger to run beyond 90 seconds. 90-second rule. Okay? So, ako, ngayon medyo naglilinger pa po sa akin, medyo tumatagal ako sa 90 seconds. I have to admit. Pero wina-workout ko po yan, no? Kasi ayokong, kasi conscious na po yung choice ko na ayokong magalit. Kasi kung pipiliin ko lang din between anger and peace, anong pipiliin ko? Pipiliin ko peace. Pero minsan talaga nakakadwisit naman talaga yung mga tao, di ba? Kasi wala silang ginawa, kundi i-chismis ka nila na i-chismis, gawang nila ng gawan ng kwento, nakakainis naman po talaga yon, di ba? So what you do in that particular instance, so ihinga ka, and then pasasalamatan mo na naman serbisyo ng left brain mo, oy, salamat to recognize that anger. But life is short. I cannot afford to go beyond 90 seconds. Okay? Between that person and my own peace of mind, what do I choose? I choose my own peace of mind. Okay? Ang sa akin, between yung taong yun ang mamatay sa inis sa akin o ako mamatay sa inis sa kanya, siya na lang mamatay sa inis sa akin. Diba? Of course, that's very negative. Pero mas pipiliin ko syempre yung ano ko, yung aking yung peace of mind ko. That's why I'm telling you also, di ba kanina sinabi sa'yo, be careful with your own internal self-talk because abuse can also happen from within. Kapag ine-entertain mo masyado yung mga negative self-talk na yan. And believe me, may mga taong ganyan. May mga, hindi ko maintindihan, no? Tao talaga nasasabi, I'm sorry for the term, tanga-tanga ko. Huwag mo sabihin niya sa sarili mo. Do not berate yourself. Do not degrade yourself. You are degrading the divine person, the divine being within. There is a God within you. Come on, give me a break. You just have to go to that place of your deeper inner peace, and you will find that you are a creature, beautiful, whole. Ha? Buo ka, perfect ka, maganda ka. Alright? Okay, 90-second rule. Let me check the chat box. Yes, the first one to forgive shall be the first one to be blessed. But sometimes forgiving is really easier said than done. Okay? And that's fine. Kung hindi po kaagad natin mapatawad. Kaya lang, yun nga kung hindi pa po natin mapatawad, di ba? Again, you go back. Is it my peace? Okay? Or my anger over that person? Okay. So, hindi pa po ako perfect. Journey ko to. Journey natin to. At mamaya, i-invite ko din po kayo on a certain kind of journey. Okay, now yan. Identify also your heroes. Sino yung mga hero ninyo sa buhay ninyo? Okay? So, I would also like to invite you to identify your... Ako sa totoo lang, si Jill Bolte Taylor. Oh my God. She's a neuroscientist. Imagine, Harvard trained. And then, her experience, it took her 8 long years for her to be able to function normally, 100% from her stroke. Panoorin niyo si Jill Bolte Taylor sa YouTube. So you'll find her really very, very fascinating creature. And then talagang binili ko po talaga yung libro niya, two of the books that I brought when I went abroad kasi wala po dito sa Pilipinas. Ay, si Ma'am Dory, meron po niyan dyan. Stroke of Insight and Whole Brain Reading. Very, very beautiful books. Sobrang engaged po ako sa librong yon. Ayun. Medyo nawawala po ako sa sarili ko kasi sobrang tuwan-tuwa ako sa binabasa ko. Number 2, sa corporate world, sa organizational wisdom, Howard Schultz, the president and CEO of Starbucks. Okay, ang ganda-ganda na istorya. I like inspirational stories. You know, si Howard, Ma'am Dory sa New York, dyan sa mga apartment, sa Bronx, yung sa mga project, dun sa nakatira at a young age, hindi niya alam what it means to live in the project. Hindi nila alam, purita pala sila. So very poor. Okay, but having a bright mind, okay? So talagang hanggang sa naging CEO siya. Another of my hero is Steve Jobs when it comes to public speaking. Okay, inaaral ko po ang the public speaking skills of Steve Jobs. All right. Of course, ang aking hero would always be gospel. Stories in the gospel. Okay? So kapag medyo nag-expect ako sa tao, iniisip ko na lang, paano kaya, kung halimbawa si Lord, di ba, nag-fail sa kanya ang tao. Yung mga ganon. So, identify your heroes. Explore, experiment, expand. And you know, in my exploration, in my experimentation, and expanding of everything, ito po yung lagi ko tinatanong sa sarili ko. Ano yung nagpapaligaya sa akin? What makes my heart sing? Ano yung kapag ako, halimbawa yan, kagaya niya, no? Halimbawa yan, makakameron ako ng pangs of jealousy, of envy, of insecurity. Teka muna. Ayoko yan. So, I will thank again my left brain. Thank you. Thank you for recognizing that I'm insecure. But wait, ano nga ba yung nakakapagpasaya sa akin? Listening to music. Okay, sige, music, kanta. Ano pa? Pupuntahan ko yung 2 kong pet, isang napakalit na daksyan na mukhang hotdog at isang napalaking husky. Because with them, I really experience unconditional love. Okay? Ano pa? I read the gospel. Nagbabasa ako ng Bible commentary, okay, the wisdom of people in analyzing the Bible. I read books a lot. Those are the things that make my heart sing. Doon ako nagdudwell. Bakit ako magdudwell sa mga bagay na ikaiinis ko? Diyos ko, iksi ng buhay. Ito ba talaga ang gusto kong isuko? Pag ako namatay, ay Lord, ito po. Masyado po ako naging grumpy sa buhay ko. Oh my God. God are those days ko, Lord, 50 years old na ako. Bukas 51 na po ako. So kaya talagang it's a very, very conscious effort. I'm very grateful because I'm with you. Can you imagine? Sa bisperas po ng birthday ko, kasama ko kayo. I'm very grateful and I am reminded of my own mental health. teka muna, anong choices ko? Nag-journal writing po ko. Those are the things that make my heart sing. Okay, believe me, 2017 when my son was diagnosed with depression, it's as if I also died. Ang hirap-hirap po ng pinagdaanan namin, aming mag-ina in our journey bago po siya maging okay, maging finally okay. Ang dami kong luha, 'di ba? Eh sabi ko, "Anak, gumaling ka lang." Kasi siyempre hindi nga man talaga gagaling pero ma-manage. Sabi ko, dalawa lang objective natin. One, that you will be a story of success and victory. And yes, he's a victory and success story because after those, 3 months, 6 months of episodes, can you imagine talagang bagsak na bagsak yung episode na, depressive episode, sobrang iyak na iyak. Hindi ko maintindihan ko anong gagawin ko. Ang sabi ko, pag ikaw naging okay, we will tell your story, how beautiful your story is because your story is going to be a story of victory. And now, he is continuing his dream in Canada. So, nag-pag-aral, nakatapos dito, kahit tamad na siyang pumasok kasi graduating po siya nung na-diagnose po siya, nakapunta ng Canada, nakapag-aral at ngayon po ay on his way to become a chef. So, in-embrace na po niya yung dream niya na mami gusto ko talaga maging ano ko na nasa culinary ako. He used to be the lead barista of Marriott Hotel in downtown Toronto, sa Starbucks po doon. Kaya gusto ko din po si Howard Schultz because the first association of my son was also in Starbucks. But sabi niya, Mommy, I cannot be a barista forever. I want to follow my heart. I want to follow my personal legend, sabi niya, and that is to become a chef. So, ano po siya ngayon? Line cook. At kilig na kilig po siya. Sinasabi po niya, Mami, tinatawag nila akong chef kahit line cook pa lang po ako. Okay? So, those are the things that make me happy. And then I go back doon sa video na pinapadala ng mga kapatid ko, doon sa mga apo ko na, sa pamangkin, how lovely they are, how beautiful they are. When I look at their childlike innocence, those are the things that make my heart sing. At kapag po ako nalulungkot, babalikan ko yun. Yun ang babalikan ko. Because that is exactly the circuit that I would like to run. Because that is what I would like to energize. That is what I would like to attract in my life. Prosperity, abundance, happiness, joy, peace, love, faith, hope. Kesa sa anger, kesa sa jealousy, kesa sa envy. Oh my God, no way. No way. Okay? So let me check our chat. Di mo nag-chat-chat. Thank you po. Thank you for the birthday greetings. Yeah, I'll be 51 tomorrow. All right. And then what else? What else do I have? Malapit na po ako matapos. Ayan. So mag-mental health journey na po tayo. And then create your own mental health journey title. Because mine is My Hero's Journey. Because I know that deep within lies a hero. Okay? That is cool. That is perfect. That is fit. Create na din po kayo. I would suggest that you also create the title of your own mental health journey. Again, mine is My Hero's Journey. Okay. Can the brain heal itself? Kanino ka po sinasabi? It's about neuroplasticity. It's 11:57. Okay, I'm the person that stands between you and your lunch. Sorry, medyo madaldal po ako. Neuroplasticity. So we can rewire, okay. What I would like to demystify about the brain is that it's hardwired. No. The brain can be reprogrammed. It can be rewired. It can be retrained. Depending on the circuit that we are running, but we have to be conscious. Okay? Halimbawa, hirap na akong matulog. Aralin mo ang sarili mo, bakit nga ba ako hirap matulog? Kasi ang dami kong time sa screen. Kasi ang dami kong time sa social media. Nakaka-stress po ang social media. Kaya po minsan, I also get away from social media. Konti lang po yung post ko. Tapos kapag po medyo negative na, ay nako, sino-forgo ko na po. Okay? Because sometimes, some people, ang kanila po nagiging reality ay ang social media. Hindi po yun healthy. Okay, thank you po, Ma'am Governor. Okay, all right. And then, what else do I have in my slides? Okay, Tayo po. Okay. What is the future of humanity amidst the threat to our mental health? The meaning in these times, ito po. Expect the numbers. Yung sinasabi po kanina ni Ma'am Sais, expect the numbers of mental illness and disorder to escalate. Yung 17% ni Doc Miel kanina na suicidal ideation, out of that ideation, 7% attempt, tapos 11% only help-seeking behavior. Expect numbers to escalate. Okay? Hindi na po friendly ang mundo natin. Why? Because the world has become so left-minded already. It has always been focused only on the me. Very seldom that we focus as a community. That's why, I cannot understress the importance of Rotary, the Rotarian. One of the organizations that focus on the we. Hindi lang ako. We embrace community. Our community is important to you. For you, it is important. Okay? You do not only operate on the me level, but you also operate on the we level, because this is exactly what we need. The need for humanity to be more compassionate and kind, especially if we expect the numbers of mental disease and mental illness to escalate. And if there will be, more compassionate and kind people, so expect a more peaceful. Now, in closing, as for my mental health journey, I have learned to embrace my story. My brain might have been damaged by childhood and adulthood trauma. Name it, you have it. I also did not have a very happy childhood. It rendered me wounded. But hey, I am not foolish. I'm not stupid. I'm not insane. I am whole, perfect. I am beautiful. And every day is a constant reminder, 1,000 times reminder, 100 times that I am powerful because I have the power to choose. And since 2017, the question, ano to? Bakit kami may ganito? Before, I used to view mental illness as a curse, but I would have never known compassion and kindness if not for that disease. And now, mental health has become, or mental illness has become a blessing. Okay? And for all of my borrowed wisdom and visuals, I am grateful to the following. Of course, the two books I'm reading, Dr. Jill Botti Taylor, and of course, Dr. Vivek Murphy, and of course, my visuals coming from google.com. Ladies and gentlemen, may the force be with us. Prosperity, happiness, joy, abundance, love, faith, hope for humanity for all of us. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, Ma'am Edna. Palakpakan po natin ang ating napakahusay na speaker. Ma'am Edna, hindi ko ako makatayo para kumuha ng tubig. Talagang nakikinig po kaming lahat dito. And we really enjoyed your talk, ma'am. And it opened our eyes and our minds to a lot of things. And personally, again, I also would like to apologize for the non-believers, but I am personally very grateful that you have incorporated spirituality into this wonderful talk. And truly, spirituality has also helped me in my journey during my most trying times. And ang saya ko po na pinutunayan nyo nga po yung talagang dapat na ginagawa. Mga nais ko pa at dapat kong magawa. At this moment, with the permission of everybody, we can accommodate a few questions. We know that it's already lunchtime, but again, hopefully we can discuss a few more. Ma'am Edna and Dr. Miel, okay lang naman po. We're open for both speakers to answer questions. The first to raise her hand, we have questions on the chat group, on the chat box. But we have a question from si Ma'am Divina. Pacquiao is there. PP Rodora. Sorry, I would like to turn over the floor to Ma'am PP Rodora for the open forum. Go ahead, ma'am, of RCP.
Hi, it's okay, HCP Mardon, partner tayo dito. Di ba?
Go ahead, ma'am. Okay po.
Mag-ano ako no camera, para boses ko lang ang naririnig nyo. Anyway, the first thing that I'd like to say before we continue with our open forum is I am very happy na kahit na mahaba actually yung talk pero ang dami pa rin hindi umalis, including you, HCP Marlon. Alam ko meron kang commitment, pero talagang nakinig ang ating mga
Present.
tao. Yeah. So thank you very much to both Dr. Miel and Miss Edna. So mag-start na tayo ng mga katanungan. Basahin natin ang nasa screen. Pero parang si President Divine nagre-raise ng hand. Go ahead, Miss
Yeah.
Divine, all
Ma'am
the way
Divine, might
from
want to
California.
articulate your request. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Since marami naman tayong puro Pilipino, so magtagalog na lang ako. Okay? So, ang tanong ko is, where we are talking about yung tag list na pala, bata, teenagers, youth, and matatanda na nadadiagnose ng mental illness, right? So, dun sa mga bata na bisa hindi pa naman sila talagang part ng real world, hindi sila nagwo-work and everything, and then nadadiagnose sila. What can you share about the reasons bakit may ganun sila? Bakit nadadiagnose sila? Thank you.
Yes, Ma'am Divine, yes. Actually, yung 1 to 5-year-old po, medyo matanda pa po yung 1-year-old. Alam niyo po ba na if my memory serves me well, the youngest recorded age of mental illness in the Philippines is 7 months old. 7
Okay.
months old. Okay? Ano po ang profile ng magulang? Adik ang ina. Adik. Okay. Now, because when we talk about mental illness, we do not only talk about the external world as in ito, nakikita natin. Remember that 1-year-old to 5-year-old, just like all of us, we came from our internal environment, which is the womb of the mother. Doon pa lang po. So, if the womb of the mother, if the internal world that is supposed to offer the sanctuary of peace for the unborn is chaotic already, no wonder possible po na meron po talaga tayo ng mga bata as young as 1 to 5-year-old who have mental illness. Because they carry with them, when they went outside of the womb, yung trauma when they were inside the womb. Okay? I'm gonna tell you a story. Although ito medyo hindi lang po ito tungkol sa 1 to 5-year-old, pero I just would like to point out to you the potency of our internal sanctuary, which is the mother's womb. A doctor, okay? Medical doctor. Hindi po to si Doc Piel, hindi po to si Doc Piel. Siya ay womanizer. And then he sought help. Okay? And then he went through a process called regression therapy, so meaning hypnosis, which is the highest form of suggestibility. So nakarating po siya doon sa age niya, no? Na siya po ay nandun po siya sa kanyang age ng kanyang mother's womb. Between 1st to 3rd month, nakita niya ang sarili niya doon sa, nakikita niyo po yung mga picture ng 3 months old na doon sa transparent na mother's womb. Sumigaw na po siya at that time. It's shaking. It's shaking. Apparently, his mother would like to abort him when he was in her first trimester of pregnancy. So, bit-bit niya yung galit, no? So, imprinted yung galit na yon kasi yung unconscious brain po natin is very, very powerful. It has been proven by research. Yung findings ni Freud tsaka ni Carl Jung na meron po tayong unconscious mind. Bit-bit ng doktor na yon, no? And upon knowing that his anger towards maternal figure, kaya siya naging babaero, yan na pumasok in the paradox of the unknown. Because what we know will no longer have power over us. Nahil po yung pagiging womanizer niya. Okay? So, Ma'am Divina, I hope I'm able to answer your question. It's because, okay, the internal environment while inside the sanctuary of the womb, which is supposed to be a sanctuary, it has to be peaceful over there. Okay? Now, we may not know it, pero tayo lahat may trauma. Kaya nga sinasabi din ng isang libro, normality might even be a myth. Why? The moment we were separated, we went out of our mother's womb, whether it is through natural or cesarean birth. Kapag naputol na po yung ating pusod, our umbilical cord from our mom, and then we were separated from that sanctuary of the womb, it's already traumatic. Trauma na po yun. Kasi, can you imagine, oh, inside your womb, di ba, init-init doon, sarap-sarap doon during our 9 months. Tapos biglang, ay, kailangan ko nang lumabas. Naku, external cord. Hello, iyak ka ngayon. Uwa. Putol ka na ng your umbilical cord, cut from your mom. That alone is traumatic. That's why there's a book that says, maybe normal is just a myth. Because all of us, carry with us that little, that little amount, probably of trauma when we got out of the mother. So yun po, Ma'am Divina, no? So I hope I'm able to answer that question. Kaya yung anak ko diba? Chronic. Biro nyo, simula pagkabata, meron siya. Hindi lang siya nag-manifest noon, ngayon siya nag-manifest during his adolescence.
And because of your trauma that you passed to him?
Pwede, ma'am. Because it could be intergenerational. Pwede, ma'am. Pwede yun, no? So, when we study family dynamics, ma'am, family tree, at inaral po namin yan sa graduate school, totoo po yun, ma'am. Hindi lang po, ma'am, sakit ang pwedeng mahawak. Kaya yung mga, for example, tinatanong po tayo ng mga doctor natin na meron ba kayong lahi na may diabetes, meron may cancer, mga may kung high blood, kung ano-ano. Ma'am, the potency of intergenerational trauma could also be passed on to many generations. Posible
Thank you
yun.
so much. Yeah. Well said. The reason why I asked that basically is, it will help because some parents are just confused and asking why their child has this mental illness because they really don't know that it could be you or us parents who pass it to the children.
Exactly. Ma'am, kaya nung journey namin na yon, nung 2017 na yon, ma'am, hindi lang po yata isang timba ang nailuha ko. And until now, journey pa rin po to, ma'am. Never-ending journey of healing, ma'am. Tuloy-tuloy. Tuloy-tuloy, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Edna. Basahin ko yung nasa chat. This is from HCP Benjamin Ganapin. Posible po bang makapture o ma-duplicate ng AI ang human minds? Nasaan na po ang AI when it comes to replicating the human minds?
Okay. I'm not very well versed on artificial intelligence, no? Ang alam ko lang, ginagamit po ang AI. Well, thankfully, it's very helpful. Ginagamit po siya. Yes, in modeling, sa neuroplasticity, ginagamit po siya. Okay? Doon po nila nakita through artificial intelligence, okay, that the human mind is not permanent after all. And in this particular case, buti na lang timing kababasa ko lang din kahapon. There was this one woman diagnosed, okay, it's a rare kind of disease. It involves vestibular, so wala siyang sense of balance. Okay, and then thankfully this kind of apparatus, so it falls under AI. So yun po yung dynamic nila. I cannot describe to you the exact details because it's so technical. But because of that apparatus brought about by artificial intelligence, so gumaling po yung may vestibular or kinesthetic na disease, which was diagnosed by doctor and was declared as there's nothing that can be done about it. Okay? But nabasa ko rin po kanina, in terms of replicating the human mind, I'm skeptic that the AI will ever capture the beauty of the human mind. The semantics, yes, probably, but the soul part, the soft side of the human brain, baka hindi po. So that's my contribution. But I have to admit I'm not very well versed in artificial intelligence, except that in some cases artificial intelligence is the one that's being used as model for treatment of mental disorder.
Merong comment si Rene Enoveso. Sabi niya, AI is still improving, but it can never replace human minds. AI doesn't have logical reasoning and sales skills. They can imitate, but they can't do what the human mind can do.
That's very
Very
beautiful.
interesting.
Yes po, that's very
Yeah.
beautiful. Besides, walang emotion ang nothing can ever replace really the being genuine of the human mind and the human spirit.
Sabi nga rin ni Dr. Miel, as long as we innovate, human minds will not be replaceable.
I agree.
So, mag-aano na po 12:14 na. Pero tinitingnan ko kung meron pang mga katanungan, baka may nami-miss ako. So, we have also seen here sa chat box from Gail Lores. Thank you for your informative and inspiring talk. Very heart-lifting. Meron lang tanong si Glo. I'm very impressed with science-based explanation on the whys. There are challenges in our mental health, both for youth and adults. As a parent, what can we do to easily reach our children? So siguro meron akong dagdag dyan. Isa sa mga rason kung bakit natin binuo itong webinar is as Rotarians, we felt that we can care better if we know. Meaning, mahirap yung gawa ka lang ng gawa ng mga programa, pero hindi mo naman truly ramdam or kulang ng background information. So, ang dagdag kong tanong dyan is, ang tanong kasi as a parent, what can we do to easily reach our children? So, as Rotarians, what can we do to easily also reach our adopted schools at saka yung mga pupils, mga students, and other children? Can we hear from both you and Dr. Miel?
Doc Mel, ako muna. Okay. Yes, Ma'am Dory. Gusto ko yung title niya, no? That for you to be able to care even more deeply, you have to know. Yan yung sinasabi ko na the paradox of the unknown. Okay? So we try to unmask. We try to unmask reproductive health. We try to unmask mental health. Okay? Lahat ng to, tinatanggalan natin ng mukha. Kasi dati, anong depression? Hindi ko alam to. So inaral ko siya. So nalagyan ko siya ng mukha. No? So that's a good thing. So we as parents, Ma'am Glo, alam niyo ang ganda-ganda ng tanong ninyo kasi hindi naman po lahat ng magulang ay sa ganyang tanong. Marami pa rin pong old school, alam niya ni Doc Miel. Marami pa rin old school na hindi. Ako ang magulang, ako ang authority. Hindi na po ganun. Hello, iba na po. Iba na ang century natin. Iba na ang hibla ng ating mga kabataan. Iba na ang hibla ng ating. Number one, what do we do as parents? We keep an open mind that our children live in a very different generation compared to our generation. Their generation is very fragile. Mahuna. Okay? Does it mean that we're better than them? Not necessarily. No? Because after all, talaga pong baka ang kailangan talaga ng mundo natin ngayon is the peace and the love that we have to extend. So number one, keep an open mind. Number two, you attract them, you give them the energy that you are open and that they can talk to you whatever topic without judgment. Pag nagkukwento mga anak nyo, panoorin nila. Pagkatingin nyo, medyo kakaiba. huwag niyo munang husgahan. Yun din po yung sinabi ko kanina ng isang, din yung nga, yung 22-year-old na nasa, yung bata akong kausap. Sabi ko sa ina, you are a very accomplished person, and the danger is you want to mold your child according to your child is different. You just have to be open. So yun, maging open lang po tayo din. Attract the energy that you are somebody who will be there that they can talk to without any judgment. And as Rotarians, how do you reach more to your adopted community, to your adopted school? One, alam yan ni Doc Mel, establish your baseline. Nasaan na po ba ngayon? No? Establish your baseline. Nasaan na ba sila ngayon when it comes to mental health? Ang principal ba ay tabu pa rin sa kanya ang mental health? No? So pwede po natin tingnan yan. And then, anong programa nila ang meron sila? At tanungin po natin din sila, paano pa nga ba kami makakatulong sa inyo? Kasi po, ang isa po yung pwedeng tingnan po dyan, mag-create po kayo siguro ng mga network saka ng mga contacts. Full of resources, yung mga libre na psychiatrist kasi ang mahal-mahal po ng diagnosis. Saka kung sino pong mga psychiatrist o mga organization na makapagbibigay ng mga libre na, yun po yung mga pwede po. Yun din po yung appeal ko sa inyo. Kasi po, ang iba po ay talagang lumalala na ang sakit na hindi na po na-diagnose at hindi na po nabigyan ng pharmacology. So, yun po yung ako. Doc Mel, over to you.
Okay, so thank you very much po sa lahat, and napaka-comprehensive na discussion ni Miss Edna. Matagal kami magkasama nito sa bakunahan ng COVID-19. Doon ko rin siya nakilala na mental health advocate pala siya. And doon sa question po natin, babalik ako sa data. The most trusted individual among adolescents and teenagers, still parents and mostly mothers. Okay? Tandaan po natin yan. Sabi po to sa Save the Children study at sabi rin to sa YAPS 5. The most trusted individual are still parents, most especially the mothers. Okay. Anong meron po tayo na po pwede nating ma-impart sa ating mga anak? Our experiences. The problem with our parents right now, we don't know how to communicate. Pero, ang kagandahan po nito as parent, meron tayong puso. Nabanggit nga po ni Edna kanina na yung AI, walang puso. Ang Google, walang puso. Pero ang parents, which is the primary source of information, may puso, and you have all the experience to teach, to reach, and to talk to your children. Kaya nga po sinabi ko kanina sa simula, we're advocating for the rapid heads. Ano po yung rapid heads? It talks about home. Pag home, kumustahin po natin yung ating mga anak. Kumusta ang relasyon mo sa mga kapatid mo? Kumusta ang relasyon mo sa iyong mga magulang? Ano yung E? Education. Kumusta ang iyong pag-aaral? Ano yung A? Activities. Kumusta activities mo sa bahay, sa loob ng school, sa church, sa social groups? And D, pwede po nating tanungin sila, ano yung mga kilala mo mga drugs? Nagsisimula ka na ba maging curious about this? And then yung S, about sex and sexuality and suicidal ideation. Ito po yung tinuturo namin sa mga guidance counselor at mga health personnel na makapag-identify ng red flags sa loob at labas ng school. At kung ito pa ay ma-identify natin as early as they go inside the school, mabilis po yung ating intervention. So ulitin ko po, yung mental health issue, mental health problem is not just a responsibility ng school at ng family o ng ibang organization. Lagi po tayo magko-collaborate dito. So tama rin yung sinabi ni Miss Edna na hindi rin tayo activity-based sa school. We create programs inside the school. When we say program, ibig sabihin, kung mental health, paano ikukonek ang mental health sa education, sa sexual reproductive health, at sa other issues that affects them. Pero importante po bilang miyembro ng samahan, kinakailangan kilala nyo muna ang inyong katrabaho. You're working with adolescents. They are not beneficiaries. They are your partners. You have to know them. You have to talk to them. You have to understand them before giving all your resources. From there, makikita nyo po yung programa natin, ng ating samahan, will work at makikita po natin yung baseline natin, magpo-progress yan at the end. Malaki pong usapin ang mental health sa kasalukuyan. Pero nabanggit rin po ni Miss Edna kanina na bibigyan ko kayo ng example. Ang isang nanay na buntis, na galit sa kanyang anak, sa kanyang sinapupunan kasi maaga siya nabuntis, na ipapasa niya yung galit at paglabas ng bata, pwede po itong ma-experience ng bata na hindi siya mahal ng kanyang anak. Habang lumalaki yung bata, ramdam niya na may hatred ang nanay niya sa kanyang sa kanya at nagsisimula na po yung hatred sa kanyang sarili. And it will create another cycle of violence, cycle of hatred. Kaya importante po na mapaalam sa mga magulang kung may mga developmental delays, may mga extreme behavior ang mga bata, we need to refer them immediately sa mga medical professionals because they're the one who will help us. Sa ngayon, ang ginagawa lang po natin, we detect development delays, we determine red flags, and we refer. Malaking bagay po ito sa ating organisasyon, sa school, at sa Department of Health para maagapan. Again, ibabalik ko po yung una kong sinabi, parents are still the primary source of information with the heart. We just need to listen and understand and talk to them every day. So yun lang po. Marami pong salamat.
Thank you very much, Doc Miel. Nakasulat sa chat box ang contact details ni Ma'am Edna. So that means that they're okay lang, no? Na textan kanila. So let me read it. It's 63, meaning Philippines, 917-854-9500. She also has FB Messenger, Edna Hernandez. Dr. Miel, pwede ka rin bang pasyalan sa DOH one of these days?
Yes po, pwede rin pong mag-email, mag-message sa akin sa Facebook.
Si Dr. Miel ang aming advisor sa maternal and child health. We're very blessed that he's our honorary member. May dalawang tanong pa yata. Yun, thank you daw. Thank you daw. Si HCP Marlon, is he still around?
Yes, ma'am. I'm still here.
Ano pa po ang ano natin, magsasara na tayo at
Yes.
baka gutom na ang ating mga kasama.
Pero bagamat gutom po sila, 38 pa rin po tayo nandirito. No?
Oo nga eh.
So
Kami
yung,
nag-midnight na kami sa New York.
midnight
Pero
na kami dyan. So birthday na po dyan ni Ma'am Edna. Ay, hindi pala. Mauna pala kami. Mauna ka na Pilipinas bago ang New York. Okay. So again, advance happy birthday to Ma'am Edna. Thank you for spending your bisperas po ang tawag ko naman. Your birthday with us. And to the 38 participants, maraming salamat po for staying tuned with this fantastic talk about mental health and youth care, youth wellness. Very, very timely and very, very much needed among us today. For parents and the Rotaractors as well. So
picture daw muna tayo.
Oh yeah.
Picture.
Okay, maybe invite everyone to kindly please turn on their videos, and we will be shooting some photos. All right. We will give you 10 seconds to turn on your videos. After 10 seconds, ibig sabihin ayaw nyo na pong magpa-picture.
Okay po, 1, 2, 3. Second page po. 1, 2, 3. Okay po, thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, PP Dory, for hosting our open forum. Again, thank you very much, Ma'am Edna and Ma'am Dr. Mel for your wonderful talks. Before we move on, we would like to proceed with the recognition of the resource speaker to be led by HCP Arlene De La Cruz of RC Acropolis.
Again, good afternoon, everyone. I personally would like to thank our great speaker for the many learnings we have gained today. And because of that, Ma'am, we would like to give you this certificate of appreciation. The certificate is proudly presented to Ms. Edna Hernandez, mental health advocates, has served as a distinguished resource speaker in the webinar on Hignaw, a discussion on mental health. In heartfelt appreciation of their selfless contributions and unwavering efforts in creating a positive impact on the mental health and well-being of our youth. Given this 9th day of September 2023 at the Rotary Center, signed by all of us, HCP. Thank you again, ma'am.
Congratulations po. Very much, Ma'am Eileen. Nandiyan na po yata yung Shopee, nag-doorbell na po.
Tapos na ako dyan sa open forum. Iba na dapat.
Yes po, may nag-mute po sa akin. So, parang ayaw yata yung joke ko. All right. So we are so worried earlier because baka gutom na nga po. At 38 po kanina nung mga ang participants. Ngayon 35 na lang po. So not to worry because the next speaker will be the one to send us food via Grab Food. Opo, just text in your addresses. Yung susunod pong magsasalita ay siyang magpapadala ng pagkain nating lahat hanggang dyan sa New York. Okay po. So to deliver our closing remarks, let us all give a warm round of applause to my dear friend and my idol from RCP, Kagitingan Cubao, HCP, Francis Abalsa.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Can you hear me, guys?
Yes, sir, now.
Yep, thank you. Thank you, HCP Marlon. As usual, ang husay-husay mong MC at host. Believe ako sa'yo. Actually, yeah. Napakaganda po ng topic natin ngayon kasi kanina, when naupo ako, sabi ko nga nag-glued ako, hindi ako makatayo kasi ang ganda po ng pinag-uusapan at very timely po sa ating sa ngayon yung mental health na yan because yan yung mga pressing issues na threatening sa ating well-being lalo na yung mga kabataan. And while Ma'am Edna kanina was dinidiscuss yung mga or si Dr. Miel, masyado akong nakarelate doon sa mga sinasabi niya kasi kung ako rin, I guess lahat tayo dumanas ng may mga ganyan pa episodes or may nangyaring depression din sa ating mga ano. And the most I think nakarelate ako doon sa part ng when somebody was like, you know, nagse-self-harm na, no? Because it happened to my youngest, sa aking youngest daughter na si Cheska, and Cheska now is at least somehow dumanas kami noon na yung mga and until now we're undergoing in fact that they're laging sinasabi even ako sinasabihin ako na mag-therapy or ano, but ang one thing lang na nakita parang solution o parang magapan yung ganitong klaseng mga yung nararanasan ng ating mga bata is more of attention that kailangan ng parents para sa mga anak nila. At yung parents, we as parents, we should always be there and pakinggan natin sila. At hindi natin sabihan na whenever na may nakikita tayong behavior nila, at agad natin silang pagagalitan o parang kinukondem o ginajudge natin kung ano meron sila. Iba na yung approach ngayon eh. Tapos na yung traditional or conventional way of parenting na tinatawag. And I realized this na habang as I learned to be a parent. At nakikita ko mismo, ako mismo na-encounter ko. So malaking bagay po itong nangyayaring at napakalaking papasalamat po ako sa inyo dahil dito sa talk na to, ang dami ko pong natutunan. At one thing lang na inaano ko na sana hindi lang ito mangyari o nakikinig lang tayo dito sa ngayon at parang nakinig din lumabas lang sa ating mga tenga. meron na tayo ngayon parang tinatawag na social responsibility na dapat gumawa din tayo sa ating mismo mga sarili na tumulong at gumawa ng aksyon para ma-address ang lahat na ito. An immersion to all of these initiatives, no? Yun ang sinasabi ko. And then, yeah, nakakatuwa ring isipin na kami pala, sabi nga ni Ma'am, therapeutic nga naman ang ginagawa natin dito sa Rotary kasi we serve the community. At habang hindi ko na namamalayan yun, habang ako'y nagsuserve at ako'y tumutulong, therapeutic pala. Kaya nang pumasok ako sa Rotary, blessing pala yun kung bakit ako nandito. Kasi therapy pala ito sa akin, personally. So natutuwa pa ako, nagpapasalamat po ako lalo na sa akin, sa club, Club Dulce of course, na nag-ano sa akin na maging presidente ngayon. At of course, sa mga nakilala ko, of course, si Pipi Dory na lagi akong mini-mentor at lagi akong gina-guide about what I have to do in advice. Thank you po sa lahat. And of course, sa mga HCPs, yung mga close ko na mga nandito ngayon. Thank you at kayo ang family ko. So sa ngayon, I'm very thankful for everything. So sana po itong dito to start yung ano na to, yung journey natin sa pagtulong at most of all po ang sinasabi ko na therapy talaga para sa ating mga children at sa mga anak natin, sa mag-anak at those people that needs our care is love and compassion po. Yun po ang napakahalaga. Reach out to them, embrace them, accept them. May mga kanya-kanya tayong problema. Ako mismo meron akong brother na for a long time paggising ko sa mundong ito, kasama ko na siya, mentally challenged siya at mentally may autism. At over the years nakita ko nag-iba yung behavior niya when we put so much love on him. We put so much love on him at nararamdaman niya, nag-iiba ang kanyang reaction. So that's what I learned from that. So yun po. Maraming salamat po sa mga speakers natin ngayon. Of course, sa ating mga participants at sa lahat po sa inyo. Maraming salamat po. I really learned from this talk right nung nangyaring event ngayon. Thank you so much, boss. Thank you.
Thank you very much, HCP Francis Abalza. Palakpakan po natin muli. Thank you for organizing this wonderful talk. Thank you very much for opening up further during in this program, and thank you for reminding us that this is a part of our therapy and your therapy in helping people. So mamaya po, Brother Francis, huwag mong kalimutan akong tulungan dahil therapy mo yan. So now we proceed to the adjournment before we formally close and then proceed to the raffle. Tama po, no? Meron po tayong raffle. Ano po ba ang Toyota Vios po ba ang ipamimigay natin? At saka po Mitsubishi Strada. Okay. Sige po, salamat po. Ano pa?
4x4 na
4x4.
Yari ka, Francis.
Okay. So, wag mo kayong aalis. Meron pong 35 na mga mapalad na mga mananalo, no? All right. But before we proceed to the adjournment, may I ask for the permission of everyone, if you can just say a short prayer. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for blessing us with this morning, with this wonderful talk about mental wellness and for our children. Lord, we thank you for the gift of great talents, wonderful speakers, open minds, and generous partners in this journey in our advocacy. Please bless our communities, our clubs, all our members, and our families. Keep us all well and open and generous to the needs of those who need it. Glory be to the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning, so and ever shall be, forever without end. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. So now we proceed to the adjournment. On behalf of all the 7 clubs who have hosted this wonderful talk, we call this talk on mental health and youth wellness adjourned. Palakpakan po natin ang lahat. Maraming salamat. Now we proceed to the exciting raffles to be hosted by, sino po mag-host? Ma'am Dora, kayo po ba? Ma'am Dory, kayo po ba ulit?
Hindi.
Sino po?
Baka ikaw.
Kailangan ko nang pumunta sa simbahan. Meron po tayong balik eskwela.
Sila, HCP Arlene.
Ma'am
Siguro,
Arlene,
I don't know.
Pwede ka ba? O Francis?
Francis na lang.
Francis, ikaw naman na magpapamigay ng kotse. So, opo. So, ikaw na po.
Ikaw na maging generous, Francis.
Meron tayo nakalaan ng mga prizes, di ba?
Oo nga. Ikaw mag-raffle. We're gonna draw.
Wala sa akin yung ruleta ng
Yeah. You're just gonna read out the winners.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Na kay
Thanks for-
Secretary Ice yata.
na kay Ma'am Eyes yung raffle and siya na po ang mag-share ng screen. It has been my great pleasure to be your day chair for this wonderful event. Until next time, this is HCP Marlon Manyaol. Maraming salamat. God bless.
Thank you, Marlon, HCP.
Man.